to another episode of On the Block with Jen. I'm YouTube's bad girl and your favorite pain in the ass and devil's advocate. How are you this evening? Woo! Yesterday was a movie. Yesterday was a movie on the block. If you missed it, listen. Sucks to be you, but I got good news. It's still spinning. You can find it on my YouTube wall, okay? Last night's show was a movie. Anybody who was here will tell you, okay? You got to see it. You got to see it. I can show you better than I can tell you. I have to thank everybody who participated last night, from the trolls to the chat, to my panelists, to my new panelists that popped up out of nowhere, okay? We had some youngins on the panel yesterday kicking science, all right? They wasn't letting the aunties and uncles get away with everything that we say, all right? The youngins came, schooled us a little bit, all right? Taught us a little bit about communication. Last night was a movie. That's all I got to say. And that's what you're going to get on the block all the time. This is literally like being on the motherfucking block. Okay? Everybody got something to say and everybody's going to be heard. So salute to everybody that was here last night. It was a movie. Okay? Feel free to take snippets and clips and share them and react to them. I invite you. React to them all you like. Don't forget to tag me. All right, guys. Let's take care of the business per usual. I am on the block with Jen on all social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. If you want to suggest a topic, if you want to talk to me about collaboration, because you know you want to collab with me, or you have a topic for me you'd like me to dissect with my panel, the only way we can, okay? No one else is covering topics the way me and my panel do. Hit me at ontheblockwithjen@gmail. ontheblockwithjen@gmail. That is where you hit me up for topics, ideas, collaborations, interviews, okay? Does not mean I'm going to pick your topic. I get a lot of mail in there, okay? But if I catch it and I think it's good for the show, the panel, and my audience specifically, I will run your topic and give you credit for it. If you want to support the show, you could do what Code Red did. Thank you, Code Red. You could super chat me. Where's the super chat, Jen? This is my first time here. In the chat box, okay? Bottom right, there's a $sign. I told y'all before, I hear you better and I can read better. I'm more literate when your comment is attached to some money. So if you want me to throw your comment up on the panel, have my panel discusser, you want me to talk to me directly, hit me with a super chat. For some reason, my vision clears up and I can hear better when your comments are attached to money. Weird, I know, but that's how it is. I got to see a doctor about it or something. I don't understand. When I see a super chat, my ear canals open up. My vision clears, right? I don't need my glasses. That's how it works here. So you can super chat me, or if you want me to get all the money and you don't want YouTube to tax my ass, you can do this. You can hit me with a Cash App. Do you see that scrolling on the bottom? Do you see that? Do you see that scrolling on the bottom? On the Block with Jen, also Cash App. Very easy to find. All social media platforms and pay apps on the Block with Jen. I got some Cash Apps yesterday. I would like to give you guys some love and some credit. I don't have the list in front of me, but I promise I will say your names mañana. I appreciate you, okay? I appreciate you for Cash Apping me even when I'm not live, okay? I appreciate that because you help Mama keep the church lights on, and we have church up in here. And if you don't believe me, watch last night's episode. Lord Almighty. Okay, that was a doozy last night. It was a doozy last night. It went on for hours. It wasn't supposed to, but it was that hot. The block was hot, and everybody showed their ass, okay? And it was some real nice ass. Pause. So, guys, tonight, I'm going to drop the link early. No monologue because I'm late, so I want to make up for it. I am late, okay? So I'm not going to hold you. All right, I'm gonna bring my people up. Do me a favor. just for me, if you got a pen or a pencil, right? Or a good memory, a photographic memory, when I bring my people up, right, we could share the support. Okay? Everybody's name is right next to their box. Hit subscribe on their YouTubes for me, okay? That's how we make a living here on YouTube, aside from our day jobs, all right? Aside from everything we got going on. Everybody on YouTube wants to be monetized. And especially if you're entertained, the least you could do is hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. So for me, for mama, do me a favor, support my people too, because my people make On the Block with Jen happen. So when you see their names, write it down. If you have a photographic memory, make a note of it and just hit subscribe on their channels for me, okay? We're going to share the love. We're going to share the love, all right? I'm not the only one that has good content. My people have good content too. Share the love. Share the love. You got time to do it. I know you got it in you, right? Tonight's topic, if you saw the thumbnail, and I'm going to drop the link right now. This is the thumbnail. Which came first, the degeneracy or the ones who push it? You see Tekashi 6ix9ine, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Kodak Black. And we have the enemy of Black entertainers, if you let them tell it, the Jewish man with all the money. The Jewish people have the bags, right? Doesn't matter how many millions producers, rappers, and actors make. It doesn't matter how much money they make. They're still mad that Jewish people have the bag. Doesn't matter how much money the Jewish people help these people make. They're still mad about it. Can we still defend hip-hop? Can we still defend the degeneracy in hip-hop? Hip-hop is the soundtrack to all our lives, right? It is literally the soundtrack to all our lives. Every time a song plays that we like, we remember where we were, what we were doing, and who we were doing it with. Is that not right? That's right. That's right. Hip-hop is the soundtrack to all our lives in one way or another. But we have to defend it a lot. You notice, right? We have to defend it a lot. There's a lot of things going on in hip-hop. So I got some pushback last time I mentioned this, right? I got pushback. They're like, Jen, but country music, there's that one country song that talks about domestic violence. He's talking about slapping his woman up on the head because she wouldn't go to bed. Dang, dang, right? I got some pushback last time. You guys gave me some pushback. Jen, what about rock music? And that guy that bit the head off a bat on stage. Rock music is corrupt too. And country music, right? Well, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I can't name the last 5 country singers that were shot to death. I can't. I don't remember. I can't name the last 5 rock stars who I saw in court on a RICO charge or, you know, a robbery charge or an assault charge or a murder charge. I can't name the last 5 rockers that I've seen in court. Now you can ask me, Jen, what about the last 5 rappers that got shot dead? Well, I can name those. And you say, Jen, what about the last 5 rappers that were in court? Well, I can name those. But yet, we want to pull in rock music and country music because there was a country singer that slapped his wife upside the head and threw a jug at her after he finished playing it on the porch. That's the pushback that I get when I bring this up. People say it's not the rapper's fault. It's the Jewish people. They're pushing that music to us. It's a conspiracy, and they want us all to be in the ghetto, and they're shoving Cardi B down our throats because they want Cardi B to corrupt our young women and turn them all into strippers. Those evil label owners, they're pushing Cardi B. Had it not been for those label owners, we wouldn't know who Cardi B is. It's not Cardi's fault. Those evil Jewish people pushing this hip hop on us. We're innocent. That's the pushback that I get. True story. So tonight I'm asking, what came first? The degeneracy of our communities or the labels pushing it? What came first? Now, you know that hip hop has spilled into television. 50 Cent, I told you guys before, has the number 3 shows, number 3. All 3 of his shows are number 1 in Black households. And guess what his shows are about? Drug dealing and murder. Drug dealing and murder. Top watched shows in Black households. Power, BMF. Shout out all my friends who are getting gigs on those shows, by the way. Salute to y'all. But those are the top watch shows in Black households. So who's at fault? What came first? 50 Cent wanting to put that content out? Or those evil TV networks who are trying to keep us in a bind in the hood, who want to feed us we're just drug dealers and prostitutes and murderers? What came first? 50 Cent's idea? Or did the networks call 50 and say, hey, do you have a drug dealer show we could put on? No? Okay, I'll call Future. Hey, Future, you got a drug dealer show that we could put on? No? You need, okay. Snoop? Young Thug? Tekashi 6ix9ine? Hello? Anybody? We need a drug dealer show to put on. Which one of you rappers is going to give it to us? What came first? What came first? We're going to ask that tonight. Dropping the link. Ooh, I'm still reeling from last night, honey. Lord, that was a good show. That was a good show. If I was a drinker like that, last night I would have had me a drink. You know, I had me a little bottle of champagne on New Year's Eve. Ooh, that was enough. It was enough for a while. So I dropped the link, you guys. Thank you so much for that early super chat code, Red. I feel the love. I feel the love. What's up, Kennedy? I like that name, Kennedy, instead of Hennessy. What's up, Kennedy? Kennedy talking about salute. This Houston cup filled blunt lit chilling. That's what I'm talking about. Get comfy. This is always interesting here. Kennedy said, I got a point already. Thank you, Kennedy. See? You ain't got to agree with everything I say, but every now and then, I got a point. What's up, the Clue Channel? Let me bring my people up. The love.
Oh, shoot. Hold on. I got to mute you. I got you in the background.
The lovely and talented Lily from YB Limited.
That is me. That is I. That is she. Okay. Yeah.
Our sexy musician, though he tries to downplay his talents, right? Haran DeMarco is the guy.
We just don't work for free, baby.
Hey, I'm not mad.
We'll dance a jig, but we just ain't doing it for free. I got taught by the best. That's what the first thing they told me. Never do it for free, baby.
Especially if you're good at it. I'm not mad.
Exactly.
I'm not mad. No, Saint, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I think Tennessee Williams, it's a play on Tennessee Williams, not Hennessy Williams.
Oh, my bad.
I thought Hennessy
you
too.
had a blunt and all of that, so I was thinking Hennessy. My bad. I stereotyped you, love. My bad.
I'll tell you what, I got you. I'm at work right now, and I have this big screen TV, and I've got you. I kind of like you on big screen.
Oh, baby, how look?
Yeah. It's Larger than life, I can say.
The measurements are popping.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Well, let me lean back a little bit so you can get a little bit of circumference.
You do. Bessie and I have actually watched you on the big screen TV in the living room. And we were like, it was hilarious. We were in there screaming and yelling at the TV. Like, it is the funniest thing ever. Like, this show is funny on the other end, watching it from the other, like watching the playback and stuff.
I gotta watch my play. You know what? I may treat myself this weekend and watch a little playback on the big screen.
Last night will be the perfect episode to watch playback.
I keep trying to tell people to watch last night's episode. If you haven't seen it, please save it for watch later. Save it for watch later.
And I still overslept.
Okay.
You know why? Because I kept you all playing while I was supposed. Because I kept you all playing. I shouldn't have done that because I couldn't go to sleep because I'm all into it. Yeah.
Oh, the end of last night was even crazier than the beginning. Woo, Lord. So hello, mi gente, my beautiful people. What's up, chat? Hold me down in the chat. Hit that like and subscribe if you're here for the first time. If you're here for the first time, welcome, baby. You gonna like it here. You gonna like it a lot. It's gonna hurt sometimes, but you're gonna like it.
Sometimes pain is pleasure.
Hello. Gonna hurt a little bit sometimes.
That's what he said. Yeah.
So, guys, I do have some show and tell tonight. Okay. Speaking of this hip hop, can we even defend hip hop anymore? It's a little embarrassing sometimes, right? It's a little embarrassing. Now, all of us are guilty of bobbing our heads to it and buying the music, right? And being inspired by it some kind of way. I was a little girl in the Bronx, ready to throw some bows, you know what I mean? After I heard some roll call, you know what I'm saying? Ice Cube and Lil Jon, I was, you know what I'm saying? We're all guilty of it. I confess. That is what happened. So I got a little show and tell. We all older now, right? We're the elders. And we listened back to some of these lyrics and we're like, oh my.
And well, I'll talk about that later because there's something I want to say about the lyrics and listening back from this age, from this mind, and I'm like,
well, speaking of the lyrics, Young Thug is in court right now, like many rappers that we know, right? He's midst a court case, of course. So I have a little show and tell. The judge overseeing his case decided to read some of his lyrics in court. Yeah, he did. Now, it's a little controversial because some people are saying that's not admissible. That's freedom of speech. That judge can't do that. It's freedom, it's art, it's expression. But either way, the judge said, well, let's read what you said and how you think, Young Thug. And I have the video, I have a little clip, just a little clip of the judge reading his lyrics. Now, just so you know, Young Thug is in court right now for gang-related charges. Okay, some serious stuff going on. He's on trial for some gang-related charges, right? Now, you know he's in there, his little suit. He has to look like, hey, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm put on a suit, right?
He should have worn that cute dress he had on his album cover. That was better than the suit that he had on.
You know
Just
what?
my opinion.
That would have been a lot better, but for the case that he's going through right now, would have been a lot better.
Yeah, because he would have like, do I look like a gangster?
Exactly. So, you know, and then of course we have French Montana, big shootout at his video shoot, 10 people shot at a video.
He's still relevant.
Apparently.
I never understood how he became relevant.
Yeah.
He got lucky with a record in here. With a record in here, he got lucky. I think he did.
Yeah, luck, yeah.
But a lot of them got lucky though, if you think about it.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Plus, the portal is wide open. They letting anybody in now. It's not like
pretty much.
They letting anybody in now. So French Montana, big shootout, 10 people got shot. His bodyguard was fighting for his life. You know, these are just casual occurrences in the world of hip hop. right? We lose a rapper every month or so. We lose so many rappers. Some of them I don't even know who they are until they're dead, right? I'm like, oh, that guy was a rapper? Okay, cool. So I'm going to play the clip of the judge reading Young Thug's lyrics. Now, again, this just sounds really dope with a beat to it, right? I like a little trap music, right? I like a little trap music. Let's listen to this. I was like, oh my. This is the judge reading the lyrics.
I'm scared.
Hey, killing 12 shit. Hey, fuck a jail shit. Hey, cooking white brick. I'm not new to this. Hey, so I'm not new to this. Hey, I'm so true to this. Hey, I done put up a whole slime of 100 licks. Slime or get slime. I'm in the VIP and I got that pistol on my hip. You praying that you live. I'm praying that I hit. Hey, that slime shit. Fuck the police. Fuck them in a high speed. 100 rounds in a Tahoe. I'm prepared to take them down. Got banana clips for all these niggas acting monkey. That slime shit. That mob shit. Fuck the judge, YSL. That mob life.
They be picking the just wildest fucking songs out of the fucking catalog. I'm pretty sure this guy had a couple of chick records and he had a couple of party records, and they picked that gorilla mafia shit. They made sure to do that shit.
And in all of our defense, we haven't known what Thug has been saying his whole career, so we don't know what we were.
I don't know what I don't know what any of them were saying.
True. Okay. Hopefully we'll get somebody up here that's a Young Thug fan. I'm not, so I can't speak on his discography, right? But fuck the judge shit. Fuck the police. You praying you live. I'm praying I hit. Fuck, or fuck you die. I do's this shit. Fuck the police. Fuck the judge. Right? Now, what do you think? Because I got another clip for you, but I want to go over this Young Thug shit first. What do you think? Should it not be admissible? Is it freedom of speech? Fuck the judge, fuck the cops. I hope I kill you. I hope I murder you. This is the music. This is in essence hip hop right now. Some people argue that's rap. That's not hip hop. Hip hop is a culture. But rap falls under hip hop, right? He doesn't fall under classical or rock or jazz. It's hip hop.
I mean, I think we've all been alive long enough to know that freedom of speech, it doesn't exist. It really doesn't. I mean, I hate, and if you don't know that, I hate to be the one to break that to you. Okay. Now, with that being said, let's just assume for 2 seconds that it does exist. Just for 2 seconds, because that's all I have of this. That still doesn't absolve you from having to pay consequences down the road for your words. We've seen that several times. Like, even it's something as small as I don't know if you all knew about this, like JT from the city, like the City Girls, they didn't really think that they were going to blow up the way that they did. So they were trolls. They were just teenage girls trolling other rappers, not knowing that they would later become big rappers that would be trolled and that those old tweets will be pulled back up. And now they can get collaborations with certain rappers because of what they were saying about them, same with Lil Nas X. So there are possible consequences down the road. And these are the things that you should think of when you're saying it, like, okay, if I have to pay the consequences, can I own up and stand up on this? If the answer is no, shut the fuck up.
Now, Lily, really quickly, you do have an Instagram reel that I love the message, something along the lines of before you're going to say something, you ask yourself some questions. That stuck with me. I love it. Can you repeat it if you remember what you said in the reel?
Yes. So before I say anything, like especially when I'm in my feelings, I ask myself, does it need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? And does it need to be said right now? And 9 times out of 10, usually the answer is no to at least one of them. So, you know, sometimes it might be not now, and then I'll wait to say it later. But yeah, I have to ask myself those questions. That gets me out of a lot of stuff.
So does it need to be said? Does it need to be said right now? And does it need to be said by me?
Mm-hmm.
Those are jewels right there. But, you know, since the devil ain't done with me yet, I'm still working on it, all right?
We still praying for you. We're going to pray to the Jesus that some of us...
It's Jesus. There's like 3 of them.
The black one.
Okay.
Which black one?
The light skin one. The light skin one.
Oh, you talk about the one that related to me that owed me $5. Shout out to them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, how you doing, Jen? How's everybody doing on the panel? Man, I'm sitting over here chilling, man. Hey, Jen, everybody, thanks for having me up. I'm over here chilling, blunt lit, you know, enjoying the conversation. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. All right, cool. So Corey Bronco said, so you don't think the rappers understand what the executives are looking for? It's called selling out. Both go hand in hand, but the sorcery being used is far deeper than just a rapper. It's an agenda. And we hear that a lot, right? The labels have an agenda. They have an agenda.
Right.
That agenda is
making money.
But where's the accountability for these people that know they're not writing an X on their check? They know what they're doing. I don't feel bad for them. They know exactly what they're doing. They know it's a debt. They done read many videos. They know how to do everything else. But then when their money get messed over, then that's when they want to start talking shit. Oh, my bad. Then that's when they want to start talking like, oh, I got screwed. No, you didn't. You knew you thought it was a PPP loan or something. What we doing here? Like, these people, I get tired of them talking about of course you're going to get a bad contract the first rip because it's going to be a bad contract. Is it a chance investment? You go over that. Then you renegotiate. That's just how it works. That's why you start learning business. Instead of signing over money and then taking cars, you're paying for that. If you want to talk about everything else, the record label is not making you go out there and shoot each other. The record label is not having you sitting on a panel talking shit to people, threatening them, and then making a song about the shit. The record label is not making you go out there and get on the block when you're supposed to be in the studio making money or doing something else. The record label is not doing that. Nobody's doing that but you. If y'all get what I'm saying.
We do. The Clue channel says tiny hats and rappers are to blame for the degeneracy. The tiny hats, he means Jewish people.
Man, these people need to stop that. They need to stop it.
Tennessee, hold on.
Okay, my bad.
So by tiny hats, he means, you know, the Jewish label owners, what have you, right? Now, I said we spoke about agenda, or I mentioned agenda. No Saint said the agenda is to make money. But if you let other people tell it, the agenda is to keep the black and browns in the ghetto corrupt of mind and heart and soul and action, right? Now, is one of them true? Is both of them true? Is one of them an exaggeration? Are we placing blame elsewhere?
They placing blame on everybody but themselves. Because if you notice, why you still doing it? That's my point. If you smart enough to know that they messing you over, but you still doing what you doing, that self-accountability is missing amongst people. That's what's missing. People don't want to take account for their fuck shit, basically. And then they want to have something to blame when it don't go right. When the ups and downs go up, I don't blame nobody but me. I go back and redo it. Okay, where did I fuck up? Okay, let me go back, redo it. I'm not sitting up here blaming somebody else for what I did. I'm going to blame somebody for gun violence. If you lay a gun in the middle of the room, it ain't going to do shit. The motherfucker that pick it up is the one that's going to do it. It's not guns. It's the person with it. Like, people need to have self-accountability. That's what's missing. And that's as simple as I can make it.
Okay, the Clue channel says freedom of speech is not freedom from consequence. If I rap about an actual murder I committed, I will be prosecuted for the murder, not rapping about the murder.
So this is what I want, and I wanted to get to this before it got too far out, and Lily's leaving, but I wanted to address what she said actually.
I'm here. I can hear you. I can
Okay,
hear you.
so I was just curious. I'm sure she travels
He
around the
knows a
world,
lot of shoes.
and I've traveled around the
Damn,
world.
right?
We do have. There is freedom of speech. At least right now, we have freedom of speech. And what to that last message saying that doesn't mean you can say whatever you want without consequences. I mean, the government's not coming and arresting people today for saying things. Now, I don't understand this judge reading this lyrics in court, what it had to do with the case. If it had nothing to do with the case, then it shouldn't have been read in court. That shouldn't have had any bearing if it had absolutely nothing to do with the case. To me, I don't know how you could even let that slide. And then to address the thing of what's the agenda. Money's the agenda. Even if these conspiracies of they're trying to keep the black and brown people down through music is true, if it wasn't making money, they wouldn't be funding it. Money is the number one reason. It sells. Violence and sex sells. Violence and sex sells.
Of course it does. Because if you don't have violence and sex, it ain't going to sell. You can't sit up there and make money out of bluegrass.
I mean, you can for like a Disney program, maybe, but for little kids.
Damn, she got a lot of shoes back there. I could not maintain her. Damn, I just said that out loud. I was thinking it, but I'm like, damn, too many goddamn shoes. She ain't even doing that much walking around this motherfucker.
So no saint. I think, if I remember correctly, the reason why the judge is reading those lyrics is because they're trying to pin Young Thug as being a gang member, right? Who's an active gang member. So I guess he's trying to put 2 and 2 together, like to add to, well, this is a gang member and this is what a gang member would be rapping about, kind of like self-snitching that we spoke about yesterday with the YouTubers. So I think that's why they're connecting it. And some people didn't like that it happened because they're saying it's freedom of speech. Some people were saying that it was, art, that it should not be connected to him in this gang court case.
Yeah, I don't know. The defense attorney for the rapper, the rap. I just remember saying the rap.
They all telling, so it don't matter.
But what I was gonna say was, like me, I've not made it on a jury, but I think I'm a good juror because I would listen and I'd be able to separate that, even because there's plenty of people that sing about things and talk about things in music that they don't have anything to do with, right? So I think if his defense attorney in a closing argument, I would be able to separate that if that has nothing to do with this case. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's just the muddying of the waters type thing. And then I would try to look it up, but they're banking that most jurors may not think like that, or at least a portion of the jurors may not think like that. It'd all be like, oh yeah, listen what they're saying on the song and linking it together.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I think that they're swaying the jury, and I think it's illegal when they're doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it could be
total. That's just totally swaying the jury, and I think they need to get a whole nother set in there when he does that, because that's swaying the trial. No matter what it is, you can't coerce the witness.
Didn't they just go to court about this? Was there any type of final outcome of whether they are allowed to admit the lyrics of rappers? Because that was a really big thing last year that they were talking about. But I don't know what the final outcome was.
This is the thing.
I'm not up to speed yet on like specifically what happened in Young Thug's case. I haven't done that research, but I will, because I am curious, because some people were saying that it shouldn't have been admissible, but the judge was like, well, I'm reading it anyway. But I have to agree. Well, hold on, Kennedy. I have to agree.
No, my bad.
I have to agree with No Saint, where it's kind of like, let's say Keanu Reeves was in court for murder. You can't show John Wick on the screen. Right. Say, well, look, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
He kills people in movies, so he must be a murderer. I thought it was a little outlandish, honestly. I'm surprised that
I don't think that's the same thing. The reason being is that we understand that Keanu Reeves is an actor. A lot of times as a culture, especially Black culture, We deny the fact that we're powerless in many ways. So we find our power through basically magnifying violence, gang violence, getting involved in gang culture, so on and so forth, and allowing all of these negative attributes to become the face of the culture. So if you're going to allow all those attributes to become the face of the culture, then at some point in time, somebody's going to derive from that culture, and they might really get involved in something. And you've already created this perception that you come from a violent culture. So the jury is going to be biased. The jury is going to be biased. You know what I mean?
But
And they're not going to look. They're going to look at you as, yeah, you just another black dude from a violent area in the world, and those lyrics really are true, and you're probably snitching on somebody right now. So,
so
you have to be very careful about perception, especially when you're dealing with juries.
hey, Heron, is
What's
that your
up, bro?
name, Heron or
Yeah,
Heron?
yeah, Heron, man. What's up?
Already, salute to you.
Priest.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that. Okay. Hey, but dog, this is the thing. That's a real slippery slope when you're dealing with it, because you're not only dealing with the character of a person, you're dealing with a whole race, and then you're dealing with a situation. So they can slide that in, just like we said. If they brought in country western people and they do other things, they don't go out in the street and do it. They'll take out the whole family or something. It's different types of cases with them.
But
But
they're
as
also
far as
protected
like
by the
with
brand of whiteness.
black people, Mexicans, and whites that identify with black people, they have a subculture, so they say. And then they try to use that and be like, oh, this is what. No, that ain't it. Everybody got their own preference of what they do. Music cannot make you do nothing. The person has to do it. It's a well thought. That means it's premeditated. A song cannot sit up here and make you do nothing. Just like if you put a gun in the middle of the room, it can't make it don't do nothing. You feel me? So they're trying to
Well,
put in your mind like everything. So that means they're trying to take away First Amendment, Second Amendment, all that in one fell swoop. And then you can't even plead the fifth after they take away the first and second, if that makes sense.
I
So are we
understand what
saying
your point you're
music?
making.
Are we saying that music is not influential? Is that what we're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying a song is not gonna make you go to the extreme like that. I just wrote a song. I have nothing to do with how you listen to it and what you do when you listen to it.
But
No.
we
So
just did a whole stream last night about how young men are impressionable because they don't have dads or they don't have male figures to look up to. So sometimes these are the male figures that they look up to. So if their favorite rapper is saying, I'm affiliated with this particular gang and I do these particular activities, a lot of times they want to go out and emulate it. See, the thing is, we're thinking from our brain of the age that we're at now, but a lot of us sometimes forget what it's like to be an impressionable teenager or
No,
child.
I didn't forget about that, but it was uncles and aunties around
But
me
you
that
just proved
kept me
my
away
point.
from it.
I'm talking about the ones who didn't have the uncles, the aunties, and things like that. And the streets are raising them, and the music is raising them.
But then I can go back on something else with that. Don't even get me started on welfare system and the coke age. But I'm just saying that's a whole nother story. But I can get to all that, man. I can tell you where it exactly broke down. It started with the welfare system and then them getting black men at the house. But that's another story. They don't want to talk about that. And then they promoted crack cocaine, and then they promoted the dope dealer. Then they promoted the pimp. And
who
then
did?
they
Who did?
government.
The government promoted them?
Yes. How you
Do you
think we
think?
got that in here?
Okay.
The
No,
government promote.
I know about the CIA dropping crack and all
Yeah,
of that, but you said promoted.
the government is promoting everything. Look at Black Lives Matter. That's not promoted by black people.
Okay, so going back to music, because I'm not sure if I got your answer clearly.
Okay.
You don't think that hip hop can be influential to our
No,
community?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I know music can be influential, but at the same time, it's self accountability when you're listening to it. Like music can make you love, make you hate, make you do a lot of things, but it's up to you to do what that music make you feel. It's not up to that person. That's my point, if
Mhm.
that's making sense. Because I can sit up here and listen to all the music y'all talking about. If I don't feel like that, I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Like, I've never been like an impressionable person. When you're impressionable, that means you're not at home. And then it all started at home. And when they start attacking the home and the kids, that's when it goes left. That's all I'm saying. If y'all agree with that.
I mean, I definitely hear your point on that. Because I mean, I just look at it being a lot more impressionable young people than not. How do we know that? Well, when I moved to Atlanta in 2006, right? Everywhere I turned, everyone had the same uniform on. The big baggy clothes
Oh,
and
yeah.
the big white long tees.
Yeah. You're
That
not
came from the
lying.
music videos. When the music videos changed their style, they changed their style. People follow trends. That's why trends are called trends, because there are more followers than leaders. If there were more leaders than followers, the word trend wouldn't even exist. So we have to not negate the fact that these things are very influential to a lot more people than not, especially young people, especially people who don't have the guidance. You know, these are the people that they want to emulate, unfortunately.
I think we're not taking into account that black music, modern black music, has evolved into disposable music.
Devolved.
Yes, devolved into disposable music. And there's not any real kind of artistry and musicianship per se. So it's actually become a career choice for low skilled workers. So you have a number of
Damn.
people who might, no,
Damn, that
seriously,
boy took a shot like a motherfucker, didn't he?
like, so you might have a number of people who might not have finished high school or finished grade school, but rap is an option for them. Now, what kind of mature understanding of the world or any kind of intellectual, what I mean, contribution can a slew of those people actually give a culture? When you lower the bar so low, where you literally allow anyone to come in, anyone comes in. There was
So
a
why?
there was a wait 1 second. There was a what is the term that I'm looking for? There was I guess you could just say a space and time where you had to be this good to get this amount of notice, to get this amount of attention and so on and so forth, or to get this kind of job. The moment that we removed a lot of the recipes from black music that made it at least not disposable and intellectual. And even though we discussed, problems in the city and so on and so forth, the moment that we removed a lot of that and we made it just this remedial form of communication, we increased a lot of the problems that we have now because it devolved even further into a culture of anti-intellectualism. And anti-intellectualism is derived from a hatred of white people.
I agree with you totally with what you just said. Totally. Because it's no like you can't just put three words together and then now you're a rapper. No, you used to have to go through steps back in the gap when I
Mm-hmm.
was going through it. I'm like
Mm-hmm.
now, I'm like sometimes it take a person 2 or 3 years before they put out their first single back in the gap that really made sense. You got to make a lot of songs and do a lot of artist development and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Can you Haran, can you elaborate on that? You said anti-intellectualism is anti-white or something like that. Did you say?
No, anti-intellectualism, it comes from, well, ironically, it comes from a point of black culture wanting to be anti-white and separating ourselves from whiteness. We a lot of us subconsciously we compare whiteness to intellectualism. Black people don't really find their space and their power in intellect. We often push our youth and our people who are physically gifted. Hence why most of us find work in entertainment, find work in sports, and so on and so forth. Like how many of us actually, not saying if they're capable, but how many of us actually push our children into STEM? How many of actually push our children into the sciences and so on and so forth? We assume that only Asians and whites can occupy that space. We only assume that when it comes to our gifts, it only involves a basketball, a football, so on and so forth. And that comes a lot from slavery because our physical prowess, you know, what I mean, that's been the bedrock of our culture for literally centuries.
But you know, I remember when I was like growing up and I was listening to hip hop. I remember times I had to go grab a dictionary to see what such and such was talking about. Like they was helping me with my little vocabulary words in school, you know. And you know, today I have a really good friend who works at an all-black school of arts, and she's been doing that for years. She's been working with middle school and high school for years, and she told me this year just how burnt out she's become and just how most people in that field has become. And she said what's going on is because first of all, we had a lot of artist development back in the day, right? These people were finely tuned and polished before we ever heard or saw them, right?
Exactly.
You know, and so she was saying a lot of these kids that she's teaching now, and she's old school, like, so she comes from that, like she's no nonsense and about, you know, and honing your craft and all of those things, right? And she was saying that these kids are just kind of like looking at her like why I gotta do all this? All I gotta do is get my followers up and be an influencer and be a rapper or be a model, or like why I gotta do all this? They don't understand that because of what we're seeing. It's just mindless now.
It's low barrier to entry. It's a very low barrier.
Yeah.
You know,
it's so horrible to that something simple as a cell phone can tear your kid up from one day to another. You give a cell phone to a kid never had one. Look at the change in them.
So I want to get into like whose fault. There has to be fault somewhere, right? When I see guys really pissed off, and I did a great child support episode with Christopher Higdon. It is on my wall. If you're curious about child support,
you don't even want to get me started.
Very, very good episode. So I remember having a conversation where a lot of guys are mad at the women regarding child support, right? They're really mad at the baby mamas, the ex-wives, because they have to pay child support. And a lot of it sometimes puts a dent in their income. But they're never mad at the men who put those laws in place. Has nothing to do with the woman, really. Like it is men.
Don't throw hands in high stones. Don't throw stones in high hands now. No.
Wait, let me finish. It is men putting, right, laws against men, right? Now, when you look at hip hop, right, people say, well, there's an agenda and the Jewish people are pushing it and the label owners are pushing it. We forget that the messengers and the people promoting the degeneracy are the rappers, are the artists. How is it that they are absolved? And I want to play another clip for you, right? Because people act like these are just some innocent kids in the ghetto who are trying to get out. Now, mind you, when these kids getting out the ghetto, maybe that's how it started, they become wealthy. They can afford hundreds of thousands of dollars in jewelry. They can afford the cars and the mansions. They are still putting this music out as if they lived in the projects in some South Bronx neighborhood, right? So I want to show you how aware they are. I'm going to play you a video of Cardi B, and some of you may have seen this because it went viral. She was playing her song WAP. Her child walks in, and she does this. So she didn't want her daughter to hear the lyrics of WAP.
It's the same thing.
She's drinking her wine now.
She's protecting her daughter from her own lyrics.
But you know, the social media developers protect their children from these apps. They don't want their own children on these apps that they develop. So it's the same, you know, and the music executives don't want their children listening to the music that they produce and make their riches off of. So
But you know what? They let them listen to what they want them to listen to. Elvis Presley did marry a 15-year-old by mistake. Their music hit different. It's on some other shit. I'm just telling you. It's not on what we on. They music on a different vibration, and they talking about other things.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with what Cardi B did as far as like, because I think there's a lot of like, for instance, and I always bring this guy's name up, but Howard Stern wouldn't let his daughters listen to the show when they were too young. I'm sure movie stars making R-rated movies with a lot of sex scenes or a lot of violence perhaps didn't let their kids watch their movies when they were too young. So I think what that says is that she's actually she had a good moment as a mother right there. And I'm not sure she's a good mother or a bad mother, but that looked like a good mother move. And it takes, not everybody, I mean, you do have to have some responsibility when you're a parent to, I mean, I understand as a parent, you can't 24/7 monitor your kids, but she can't monitor her kids 24/7 either.
Exactly. That's my point.
Do you think it's proof that these artists are working in tandem with these labels?
No.
Of course.
They got to get their check.
No, I mean, I don't. As in what? As in,
I think they are working in tandem with them.
As in pushing the degenerate music into the communities.
That WAP, but see, that WAP is a sex song, right? It's a sex song. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's a lot of that's not new. Sex sells. I mean, that's an easy way to, sex. That's an easy way to make money.
It's gonna be out there, but what she's saying, what I think overall people are saying is that they're only pushing it on a certain community as far as like everything they're going through, even though other genres of music, they do it, but they do it in different ways.
Well, I'll give you that. It could be more subtle.
No, I ain't saying it got to be subtle, but you have to handle your kids. Like if you listen to some.
No, what I'm saying is other music does it maybe not as, they don't say WAP or whatever. But
wait a minute, was Madonna subtle? Wasn't Madonna subtle?
No, I don't think that's what I'm saying. Not necessarily. No,
she was
listen
very much
to a lot of rock and roll,
like a virgin, right?
Music. Yeah. Listen to a lot of rock and roll and country music. They do it different. They audience.
Prince was really good with his subtlety.
Yeah.
The country roll and rock and roll people, they buy their kids guns at 13. That's their audience. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah, but they teach them gun responsibility as well. Like,
first of all, the kid not supposed to be having no gun in it just because they white or something.
I know, but some places
black people can teach their kids responsibility with a gun. So what you saying?
I'm gonna have to. I need to push back on that real quick. One of the biggest metal bands of all time is Metallica, and Metallica was a part of like heavy metal. And heavy metal has some very, racist, dark, vicious ideas at the core of it. I'm a Metallica fan, actually.
I love Metallica.
You know what I mean?
Man, I just got you playing Fade to Black.
Wait 1 second. What I'm saying is that, metal, has a very violent culture attached to it. A lot of people don't understand that because they're not, a lot of us don't sit down and listen to metal music. Like if you sat down and actually, just like that judge sat down and actually read the lyrics to that, to Young Thug. Has anyone actually sat down and read the lyrics to some of these rock songs or heavy metal songs? As a matter of fact, the culture is so one of the things about the culture that makes it so violent. I remember when a Dimebag Darrell got shot in the head on stage by fans. So when it happened, it sucked, but it was kind of like, it's kind of par for the course because the culture is so violent.
Yeah.
But 1 second. But they're able to survive and live. Why? Because the brand itself of whiteness is not associated with such a degeneracy.
That's
And
the
that is the
complexion.
problem.
And
That's the
that's the
problem.
complexion
And
for the
this is one of the
protection,
reasons.
man.
Wait 1 second, brother. And this is the reason why it falls on the shoulders of our community to not indulge in the so-called agenda. You know what I mean? Because you're only helping them actually, you know what I mean, and essentially, destroy our brand. So yeah, there has to come a time where we got to just can this victimhood shit, man. No
Yeah,
one
that's
told
all
you to
I'm
actually
saying.
do these kinds of records, man. Nobody told you to actually sign up for this shit. And what is a Jewish person gonna do? You've ever known a Jewish person to turn down $1? I haven't.
Man,
You know what I mean? Like,
tabernacle.
That's racist.
it
I
might
want
be.
I want my vision back.
Tabernacle, Harold. God damn it. Tabernacle, man. He said what I'm saying.
I want my vision back. If we're showing our
You're gonna
age,
catch
then you're,
1
glaucoma.
second, brother.
if we're showing our age, then you're showing your lack of comprehension, because it is old news. I want my vision back that white kids are the biggest consumers of hip hop. No one said they were not. However, have any of us on this panel not heard on repeat whatever the fuck we wanted to hear in hip hop without buying it?
Exactly. Man,
So when you say white kids are the biggest consumers, as in they're paying for it, but we may not have paid for all of it, but we heard it tenfold, okay?
yeah.
Even without paying for it. So yeah, they're the biggest consumers because they actually went out and bought CDs and they do the downloads. I'm listening to anything I want to listen to without spending a fucking dollar. It's the same shit. Not only that,
and
remember, we covet hip hop. Hip hop is ours. It's our genre of music. It's our music. So we listen to it in a different way, and it resonates with us in a different way than Josh living somewhere in the suburbs who listens to it when nobody's watching.
And you know what's really toxic is this whole, that's been bothering me lately more than anything, is this whole culture thing. Right?
They got a new
and
word,
you tune in
man.
to BET, which is hasn't been black owned in forever, right? And they're always for the culture, culture. And when you think of the culture, you know, it's like the blunt, the Henny, the hip hop music, you know, just like, it's like, in reality, how many positive attributes are like do people think of when they think of the culture in reality? How many positive attributes? Like, let's just keep it real. So this culture thing, that needs to be tackled in its entirety. You know, right now we're dealing with the music part, right? So that's one piece of it, and that's a big piece of it. But that whole thing is toxic to me.
I think exactly what you're saying, and I hate when they get on like one word is culture, then they dealing with what mental, then everybody's saying phenomenal all of a sudden. Like, this shit be irritating me when people get on the bandwagon or something. And I'm like, what about self-identity? What about self-preservation? What about owning up to your own shit and stop blaming others? And I'm talking about, it ain't other people's fault 70 to 80% of the time, because sometimes it is, but come on now. You cannot blame nobody for your kid going out here doing what your kid doing. Where were you when your kid was doing that? And then they're gonna ask, well, then they're gonna break it down to where were the fathers? Oh, then that goes back to the 80s, welfare, all that. And then where the music really kicked in and the crack. You remember when the music and the crack kicked in the 80s on up? Like, the father couldn't be in there, and then the music started raising the inner city kids or whatever. All they had to look up to were the drug dealers and all that. Come on now, let's not act like that didn't play a part in it. The government did that. The
Can I ask you a
woman
question?
sold us out.
Can I
Straight
ask you a
up.
question?
Yeah.
So the man had absolutely no choice but to leave. He was powerless. He was absolutely powerless.
Damn near at that time.
How so? Can you please explain?
Hey, name one man came up out of there that didn't get beat up, sent to jail, and then still had to go through it. They still doing it now, but in a different way. But imagine it was worse back then.
But what I'm saying is that, okay, for instance, for example, why was said person beat up and sent to jail?
Because it
Because
was the way of the world. The way of the
Because
world goes around.
we don't have an
was a crime.
explanation.
Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second, Simon. Was a crime committed by any chance?
No. Most
So
of
it
the
was
time,
just
a crime is not being committed. You could be in that house when the welfare system hit, and then like maybe a crime was committed. A crime could have been like one of them could have had crack that they got from another person and been in that house. Like it's
wow.
ways that it went down. It's not like just clear and cut, but it's like, come on
Now you
now.
see, now
Everything
you
is not
see.
always your fault. Some
No,
things you got.
no, no, no. You see,
No, no,
here's the
I'm
thing.
saying like
Here's
sometimes
the
you
thing.
put yourself in situations. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, wait 1 second, because you stood here and you basically said you basically said that the autonomy falls on black people for allowing our music to essentially be bastardized. But we were
No,
essentially
I didn't say that.
absolutely wait 1 second. We should take accountability for our music being bastardized. Did you basically say that for
No, I didn't
clarity?
basically say nothing. I said we should take accountability for ourselves. I said no
Okay,
song or
so
music should be able to influence you that much. And if it does,
okay,
it's still up to the person listening to it to do it. And that's why I brought in the analogy a gun.
okay,
You can sit that in the
okay.
middle of the
1
room
second, 1
just like
second.
a
Hold that
CD.
point. Hold that point. 1 second. So you have power in that context, but you don't have any power if the government is involved. You're
I didn't
basically
say we didn't
at their
have
whim.
power. I didn't say we didn't have power. I
So we could
said
have stayed. So we
it
could have
was
stayed in the
stacked.
home.
It was stacked
So we could have
against us.
stayed in the home. So we could have stayed in the home. You agree that we had that decision. We had that
Yeah,
choice.
but you
Why
have
didn't we
to
stay?
get beat
Why
up and
didn't we
killed
stay?
for it. You
Why
have to
didn't
get
we
beat up
stay?
and killed for it, is my
Hey, it
point.
is what it is. It is what it is.
Wait, you
That
got,
Because
wait a minute. I'm confused. That you got beat up and killed for staying in the home with
apparently,
your woman if she was on welfare?
the real father could not be in the house.
okay.
Right. He
No,
was,
it says substitute father. That's what it says in the
No,
law.
the
It was
real
always about the
father.
stepdaddy.
The
The
stepdaddy can
stepdad
be
couldn't be in
there.
the
Any
house.
other dude can be in that house, long as it ain't the DNA of the real daddy.
right.
Straight
It
up.
literally
But
says
why,
substitute father.
Yeah.
right. But why did he leave? Was he forced to leave? What do you mean he couldn't be in the house? Who was
Hold
stopping him
on.
from being in the house?
No, if you got all that stacked against you, what you gonna do? You
No,
got to deal with yourself, but you got to deal about self-preservation at that time.
I'm asking the question, who was stopping him from being in the house?
The woman in government.
The woman in government? How was the woman stopping him?
The government couldn't be in the house unless she went down there.
The
What?
Okay, you could.
in the house
Okay,
unless-
wait. Let's hold that for a second. The government could not have been involved unless she went down there. Could the man have stopped that woman from going down there?
Nope, not when she really want to.
So the black man has no power over his woman. That's what you're basically saying.
No, he had no power over that woman.
Sounds like a lot of brothers ain't have power over their woman though.
Yeah.
It sounds
Okay.
like so.
Yeah.
Essentially, we're saying. So
Yeah,
essentially,
but that
saying that
goes
some
back to the
generation.
woman sold us out anyway, no
No,
matter
no,
if
no, no,
she
no, no,
loved
no,
them
no,
or
no,
not.
no, 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 no. Because it
No,
really
no, I
sounds
know where you're
like
trying to go
the
with it.
black man.
No,
No, I'm
you got
not
the
going
right one.
anywhere with it.
No, you
Where's
got the
Annalise
right
I'm not
one.
going anywhere with it, man.
Uh,
I'm literally asking you questions based
No,
on
and
the
I'm
information
literally
you're giving
giving
me.
you the
Can you
answer.
see that face again?
I'm literally giving you
You
the
know
answer.
I'm a Pisces. I wear my thoughts on my face.
Look
So
at her. She got all them shoes in the background. She is
About
not
to throw
the
one
right
through the screen.
I
person
want
right
to
now to
ask
say the black woman did not sell out the black man. Look at all them
hold on,
shoes.
hold
Wait,
on,
Look at all
what?
them shoes.
hold on a minute. One mic. I got 3 people talking at the same time, and the audience can't hear any of you. Okay. I want to acknowledge this comment really quickly. Christopher Higdon says the myth of the absent Black and Latino father has been debunked. Black and Latino fathers are the most active at each stage of child development. Well, I can vouch my daddy was in the house. Okay. So I will say that Lily's daddy was also in the house. I have a question for Kennedy. Kennedy, why did the Black woman go down to the welfare office? What was she trying to do?
She was trying to hurt the black man because the black man did not want to be with her no more.
What?
So then
Straight up.
so then he wanted to leave on his own, is what you're saying.
No. She
He didn't want to
had to
leave?
go. Nah, it all goes back to slavery. Y'all know that. Her mentality
What?
is always going back to master.
So let me all right, so let me ask you this.
Every time she get mad at the black man, she be like, okay, I got something for you.
You know, in Tennessee, we love you, but in all fairness, this is sounding like talking points from like pro-black YouTubers.
No, this is up to date right now. Ask any black woman right now.
Wait.
Oh,
I want to say something. Hold on. No, I want to say something.
A black woman would say it right now. I'll take you to court.
Okay,
Why?
but I want to say
They could
something.
be doing better without the court, but they'll rather get court involved. This is going on right now, people.
So
tell me I'm lying.
If a black man can't afford to take care of his children, and the government is offering the woman money so she can take care of those children.
What about if the black woman can't?
I know, but obviously she can if she's going down to the welfare office. Do you think that she just might as well be homeless with you instead of running back?
She could have just easily. What about if the man wanted the child and the government help out the man?
Say again?
What about if the man wanted the child and the government help the man out?
Basically, the man go on welfare?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? The woman doing it.
So you're not necessarily.
No, hold on. It's the best interest
you're not
of the
necessarily.
Child, hold on. Now, see how the ties
switch?
No, hold up. So
I'm
you ain't a
question.
man. If you a better person for that child, and the government can't help you just because
why do you need to get on welfare? Why do you need to get on welfare?
Hold on. Why does she?
Because you got no money.
Hold on. No. Hold on.
You're not contributing financially.
Don't they say women make more money? See, this is where I get y'all. Y'all
Jesus
not gonna
Christ.
bag me down on this.
Oh my God, man.
Kennedy, you said if she goes to the government, she's running back to Massa. So if the man gets on welfare, is he running back to Massa as well?
Nope.
He's not running back to Massa. So who he's running to?
Who's he running to? Nobody. He getting what he's supposed to get.
But he's not running back to Massa. But Massa's the one giving you the money.
Nope. Because we earned that on our back. We getting beat. Y'all just flat back. That's all I'm saying.
Wait. So wait a minute. So you're basically saying that black women
y'all
want to
go back to slavery.
No. You're saying that black women weren't slaves? That they didn't engage
I didn't say that.
So where were they doing? What they didn't earn it? They didn't earn it?
What does that mean?
Oh, you mean bedwenching? You mean bedwenching?
Yes.
Oh, so the black woman was a bedwench while the black man was out in the field during slavery. That's basically what you're saying.
Am I making this up?
No, I'm asking you, is that what you're saying?
That's what I just said. I didn't.
Oh, okay. So the black woman is a bedwench. So she
was
the
white man when she takes her kid back to the court.
No, wait a minute.
Instead of letting her and that man deal with that. It's a lot of black women.
No, but you see, you weren't capable. But you weren't capable.
No,
those brothers weren't
capable. The woman
is
incapable.
No, you weren't capable. You didn't have any money.
There'd be plenty of times when the man wants the child. And they still won't let him get him. I've seen it so many times.
You probably became a bedwench because you couldn't protect her.
No, see, now you're being a black male feminist. There's been plenty of times when men want their kids, they can't get no help from the government when they want their kids. Oh, we talking now. I'm talking now. Oh, so a man can't get nothing from the government if he want his kids?
See.
So now we. Now we ain't shit.
Wait.
This is my point.
You can go suck a white man's kneecaps and go get some money.
Hold on, but the black woman ain't.
You sure the white man
when that man want his kids?
The white man has plenty of kneecaps to go around.
Oh,
gentlemen, such as yourself.
On the kneecaps.
Yeah,
where's the help for black men when they want their kids? Then you have niggas like you talking that shit.
Well, no say. Can you tell him where the help is for black men, please? Because he's the white authority here.
No,
he's the white authority.
A black man, sir. It's a downtrodden nothing.
We got somebody here interested in your kneeps.
To help with his kid. When he's the better person, Now the black
So,
man got to be on his
better
kneecap.
person.
This nigga tripping. Nigga,
No,
what
yeah, I
kind of
know,
nigga
man.
is
Yeah.
you?
I'm a
But he
nigga.
What kind of
did.
nigga is
I'm
you,
a nigga.
dog?
I'm a nigga that don't suck a white man's kneecaps. That's what
Dog,
I
hey,
don't do.
dog, you a nigga.
I don't.
And the black woman, and the black woman, and the black
I
woman.
ain't never
Nigga,
been on
please.
welfare.
You
I never been
just
on
showed your
welfare.
true colors, nigga.
Yo,
So
child
when a
support ain't
black
no
man
problem,
want
nigga.
his child, he's supposed
Go
to
get
just
him.
stick it out.
Go get him.
But
Go get the
goddamn it, a
child.
black woman can sit up here
Go
and
get
lie
it.
on a nigga
Go get
all
your
the
kid.
time and get
You niggas is some
get
powerless,
everything,
motherfucking
a
crying
house, a
motherfuckers.
car,
This
all
shit
this
is
shit.
sad.
But if
This
the
shit
black
is some
man get his
sad shit.
child,
You over
he's
here
sucking on the
embarrassing yourself and
kneecaps of the
son. You
master.
embarrassing
Man,
yourself
go
in
on with
front
that
of a white
bullshit.
man.
You are the problem, nigga.
Oh,
You
I'm
the
the problem.
problem, nigga.
I'm the problem. What did I
Yeah,
do?
that kind of
I was
mentality is
watching
the
this shit.
problem, nigga.
Wow, I'm the problem.
Nigga, you just said the black man got to be sucking on kneecaps, but the black bitch ain't. What?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She getting housed.
So I muted your mic, Hennessy, Tennessee, whatever we're going with. I muted your mic. I'm gonna read the super chat. Thank you, Don Levon, for the super chat. Always right on time. Haran is done with these Negroes. He's done.
I'm having my ribs, baby.
I want some ribs, damn it. Don Levon, thank you for the super chat, sir. Don Levon says, so a black woman will kick out an able-bodied black man that's paying all the bills just to get on welfare?
That makes total sense right there.
Is that what you're saying?
My mother was doing it wrong, Jen. My mom was doing it wrong this whole time. She should have just kicked my dad out the house and went on welfare. What was she thinking?
I'm so lost, right?
It would have been an easier life.
It would have been an easier life. She should have ran back to master,
man,
and became a bed wench.
Okay. See, this is not making any sense, right? These men say they're the most logical, the smartest, strongest, etc., etc. There's nothing more logical than the law at this era of time. When you go to court for child support or anything of custody, what is the judge looking at? The judge sees the mom with the baby in her arms, and the judge sees the father left. You're telling every man needs to understand when you leave the house, you are telling that judge unconsciously that I trust this grown woman to be left alone with my kid. She's had the kid in her possession this whole time. But just because I make more money, I should have the kid. That makes no sense. Why would a judge do that?
Nope. I'm not gonna let you do that because women will sit up here and not open the door when you trying to get your kids. So every time, then they have this shit called time makeup. Ain't no such thing as makeup time. See, y'all got the right one. Nah, you're not finna play that. I know the laws of family court.
Makeup time. You can't.
Ain't no
you
such
got a
thing
time
as
machine
makeup
now.
time.
You can go back and make up the time with your kid.
Ain't no going back.
There's a time machine now
with you. That's not makeup time.
Because you left.
No,
that's what it is.
You left. No, it ain't. A woman can sit up and they look at that. This
How
is
many
what
kids
I'm
do you
talking
have?
about. The woman be like, oh, who's in possession of the child? What sick person thinks like that if you're trying to
the judge?
Hennessy, how many children do you have?
I'm gonna sit up and tell you like this. I got 2 in their mid-20s and I got 2 in their teens. The ones in their teens, they mama be pulling that shit, but they don't understand custodial interference would get you locked the fuck up. You and anybody helping you.
You pay child support?
Yeah. But I'm not supposed to, but that's a whole nother story.
Wait, what?
Nah, you don't get it. My case different, nigga. I'm telling you, this bitch kidnapped for 4 years on joint custody and she's not locked up. Kept doing it. Big ass lawsuit. My case different. Y'all can't sit up here and tell me makeup time. Ain't no such thing as makeup time when you're the one interfering with the interaction between this man and the kid and who else helping you do it. That's why they have custodial interference. Fellas, look up custodial interference. If you have a custody order with this chick, you can lock her and anybody else up that's interfering with your time with your kids, and it's a law.
Ask you something. You have two teenage children. Do they listen to hip hop?
Yeah.
Okay, do you monitor what kind of hip hop they listen to, or you don't really care? You're like,
Man, they listen to rock and roll songs. When I actually heard like The Dream and all them, they actual songs, it's nastier than hip hop.
is it?
Yeah, like The Dream and all them songs they play on the radio and they make them seem like they clean or whatever. The dirty version of these songs, all these white, oh, they happy songs like Avril Lavigne and like The Weeknd and all that, and then everything they listening to as teenage girls, the shit is worse than hip hop.
Do you care that they listen to that? Do you care?
Yeah, I have to explain it to them though.
Why
I'm
do
saying
you care if they listen to that?
because you have to have some kind of sense of uh stability in their mind because they're gonna do the shit anyway. We know how we were at that age, and technology is different now. But you got to talk to them. I told them, ain't no going on in here while you in your teens.
So
Get
you
to your
think that
20s.
you think the music will influence them to do that?
No.
So why are you talking to them and telling them not to do it?
No, I ain't say it wouldn't influence. Music makes you feel a way. It doesn't influence you. Y'all got to understand the difference between feeling the way some makes you feel and then some that really influence you. Influence is something that's almost damn near a religion. If you look up the definition.
So the music will make your kids feel a way, but it won't influence them to do something.
Yeah, exactly. Only thing influence a person.
What way does it make them feel? What do they feel?
No, it depends on how your kid is. You know how your kid is. It depends on.
I'm asking
No,
you.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You know how your kid is. You know if you got a kid like this, a kid like that, kids got different identities. So you know how this song might make this kid feel another way. It might make another one feel another. Another one might be like, I don't even want to hear that.
What do you think that music is making your kids feel?
I think the music that my kids are listening to, some of them are listening to the 80s. They listening to all of it. But then at the end of it, they get around their friends and then they listen to what they listening to, and then being around their friends or whatever, you have to notice how they are around them too. And then like the music and then around their friend, the atmosphere, all that, that has a lot to do with it too. And then
So
if
you
they
think the music can influence them?
yeah, it can influence them, but it don't make them do shit. This is my thing. Music cannot make you do nothing. It can make you
Do
feel
you know
away.
what influence means? I'm just curious.
What?
I do right now. I like to say influence, the definition, the official definition, the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself. For
That's I
example,
know what influence mean.
the influence of television violence. Sounds like you're feeling a certain way about it.
No, but I'm saying, so if that is so, it goes back to actors and people in other genres of music. Listen at the shit they talking about. Like you said, if they actually read rock and roll out to these people, you get it?
And I also said that they also have the essentially the whiteness, the
Oh
complexion
yeah.
for the protection involved. We
Exactly,
don't have that.
Harold.
Yeah, but we don't have that. You see, kind of
Yeah.
where
Yeah, I know, dog.
you can't,
Yeah,
you know,
I know. In a
you
perfect
can't really
world.
be black doing white stuff. You know,
Hey,
it's just
Harold.
that
Hey,
kind of
Harold,
doesn't
you know
work
I'm
that way.
just talking shit. You know I
Yeah, I
get
hear
it.
you, man.
Yeah,
I
but
hear
you
you,
know
man.
we both making the same point, but we just have to throw it out
Nah, I
there.
don't think we making the same point on
No,
that
I'm
either,
talking
bro.
about on
I don't
far
think
as
we
like the
on the
complexion.
same
Wait,
subject
No,
either.
wait,
I
time
ain't gonna
out.
bring you down the rabbit
Hey,
hole with me.
Wait,
I
I'm
don't
time
think
talking
we
out.
about
on the
as far as the
Where's
same.
the
We making
self
a
complexion.
lot of.
accountability here? Where's the self accountability? Did
Self
we forget about that
accountability
whole thing?
It's at the welfare office, Tristan. They left it at the welfare office. It
Hey,
happened
See,
self
there.
listen,
I'm
listen.
trying to drag Harold with me with the
We
bullshit.
we
Come
literally
on,
saw
Harold.
how
Come
this
on with me.
government ain't want to give people $300. You really think they want to give these black women some money? They will fight tooth and nail before they give a black woman anything. I've
Man,
seen people on the Section 8
where
list
you
for
at?
years.
So
I
going
mean,
back to leaving the welfare office and going back to the topic, do you think that
She
the
got more
label
shoes than she got
owners
feet.
include Do you think that the label owners, including the Jewish, do you think that they're just capitalizing off of the degenerates in the hood who are willing to make this music? Do you think they're just capitalizing off of it? They like, hey, you like it? I love it. I can monetize you being a degenerate. Do you think that's the case?
Everybody's agreeing at that point. Everybody know their role at that point.
Don't put words in my mouth, bro.
I'm saying everybody agreeing at that point when you sign that, when you take that money, you know what you're doing. You know the conversation.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And that's the thing.
All
You
right.
don't.
All right.
You don't.
You know what? All right. I've seen
don't.
people do it
I'm
knowing
saying,
that they fucking up.
No one. Come on, let's be real. Like, for real. Like,
I'm being real.
How do you know?
Accountability. They know what they doing, man.
Yo, I'll put a contract in front of your face and you won't know what the hell's going on. I'm telling you.
That is very true, because some of these contracts are thick as I don't know what. And that's why you have to have
but why would you sign a contract?
And that's why you have to have an entertainment.
Because
you're not an attorney, not a good attorney, but an entertainment attorney, because that's how intricate these contracts are.
It is called legalese. It is called legalese.
Exactly. Right. And then
the
why sign a contract that thick?
You're not gonna realize it until a point that it sort of becomes a distraction or something. Do you know what I mean?
I've never signed a contract this
Simon,
fucking thick.
but we're talking about
my contract was like about that thick. I understood
it. To answer the question, degeneracy came first because that was the product them people saw, like, hey, I can make money off of that.
I agree
or
with
hey,
it.
why is everybody coming to this little building in the Bronx so late at night and they seeing people break dance and blah blah blah? Oh wait, a lot of people cannot make money off of this, and then it just blew up. You can't be mad at people who found a hustle. It's not. It's the degeneracy always came first because what do they always preach? Oh, this was my lifestyle. This was my life growing up. I'm just speaking my life. Okay, and they said, hey, I have $10,000, put it on wax.
Well, I heard a story the other day about, that Russell Simmons told about the beginnings of hip hop when he was working with Run DMC and things like that. And this is still at the point when they didn't see value in hip hop. So he brought some executives from Adidas to a Run DMC concert, and he in the middle of the show he had them tell the guys to like hold up their Adidas, and like the audience and everybody started holding up their Adidas and waving them from side to side, and that was kind of like the beginnings of them realizing like, oh, we can invest here. We can invest into this audience. So with that being said, a lot of us don't realize the power that we have, right? And so we utilize that power in the wrong direction. We put that energy in the wrong direction. And the thing is, there's really no excuse today. I'm sorry. This is a day and age. Like we said,
that's what I'm saying, Lily.
Anybody can be a rapper, okay? So you just want to be mainstream. You just want to be on television. You just want to be signed at this particular point because you can be a rapper. You can be a rapper right now. You just have to put the work in. You don't want to put the work in, so therefore you sign to these major record labels, and then you cry about, oh, well, look what they made me do. When you start to fizzle out, you're not as hot anymore. So, and then they want to get on, when they're not so hot, then they want to, get on these shows like Vlad and stuff like that and talk about these bad contracts and stuff that they signed. Like, no one wants to hear that. That story is so old at this point. You knew what you was getting yourself into. You could have been an independent artist and made the music just you wanted to make, and put forth the effort to build your fan base that cared about the music that you wanted to care about. Instead, you want to take the shortcut,
the easy route. That was the easy route. So you can't get mad about taking the easy route when you signed over everything just to goddamn be in front of a TV with some jewelry on. Man, my contract, the longest contract I signed was like 5 pages. That was like 99. I ain't never signed another one since.
Okay, so I want to welcome Modern Renaissance Man and Tony, Mr. T from the UK, our other brother from the
What's
UK.
up, UK? Salute.
Yes, yes, yes.
How y'all
Please
doing
tell me
over
y'all
in
got no
UK?
heat. Please tell me y'all got no heat and y'all just not in the house like that.
So
Right. What's
Listen,
going on in the UK? Y'all just bundled up in the house? Like, what's up?
It's
What
cold
kind of
over here,
ghetto
bro.
shit is
Yo,
that?
Tristan, it's kind of cold over here, right?
Oh, y'all old school. Y'all gotta heat up the oil and shit like that. That's what happened.
Niggas over there with
We just don't
lanterns
have to.
and
We
shit,
just don't have to do
walking
things.
around peeking
Did
in and
Brexit do
motherfuckers'
y'all like
windows.
that? Y'all got no money like that over there. Y'all third world now, huh?
What's
That's
Well,
wrong
we're
with
crazy.
it?
gonna teach you something. We'll teach you something.
well,
Nigga over there rubbing sticks.
yeah.
It's cold
Big
over
up
here.
Simon, big up Jen, big up the regular people, big up, big up, big up.
Well, yes,
before-
sir. Well,
I got on a tank top
wagwan,
and
bro.
Wagwan, big up my brethren. Yes, Aya. Yes, Naya. Yes.
Yes.
Listen,
In there.
I thought I'd jump on there quickly.
Hold
Hey,
on,
I got on
Is
a
it
tank top in Houston for you UK boys.
this mic. Let me mute his
Houston?
mic.
You know.
He doesn't understand. I'll mute your mic too. Okay. So before I pass the mic to Modern Renaissance Man, welcome, sir. I am hearing some talk about contracts and Fugazi contracts. I think those are two separate issues. I'm specifically talking about what came first, the degeneracy in our community or the people pushing it. When we talk about hip hop, we talk about these evil label owners, these Jewish people who are pushing this degenerate music out to our communities to keep us in a state of have not, to keep us in a state of killing each other, to keep us in a state of doing drugs and drinking. That is a consensus. That is what these evil label owners are doing, which absolves the artist when the artist is the one volunteering to do the music. And like I think Tristan said, the story is always, well, I'm just talking about my life. This is what happens in my hood. I had to sell drugs. I had to strip. That's normally the excuse. I say they're working in tandem, the artist and the label. They very much are aware because even after they quote unquote make it out the hood and they're sitting in the mansion with the Lambo outside, they are still rapping about guns, drugs, fucking, stripping, okay, and things like that. So what say you, MRM?
Well, if you want to keep somebody from climbing out and being better, then what you need to do is keep on pushing out the same exact message so you can always have a vicious cycle of the same type of people staying in the same place that they're in. So, you know, if you keep on having the same type of music that we know is heavily influenced. I think somebody mentioned it earlier about they don't think music can influence someone or make them do things. It 100% definitely can. Music is one of the few things found out there in nature that stimulates both hemispheres of the brain at the same time. Music is one of the only things out there. Well, not only, it's one of the few things out there that it doesn't need your consent for your brain to allow it to be accepted into your mind because it can get into there subconsciously. That's why most of the things that you learned always have to have some type of rhythmic type sound to it. Your ABCs. Everybody sings it the same exact way. Why we all got to learn it in that melody. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely 100% the degeneracy came first. But I think what happened is just like how the person that discovered penicillin. Ooh, look what I got. Now I can capitalize off of this. So if they sat there and watched all these black folks getting all crumply, getting all off this type of music, ooh, look what we can do and how we can capitalize off of this. See, being in the medical field, what we found out too while going through schooling is that music can heavily influence your brain waves, depending on what the frequency is within that music. You know, so if y'all don't believe me, all y'all can do this. Y'all can do this yourselves. Go and look up salt or rice on frequency. They sat there and they poured salt or rice on a board and they pushed this frequency sound through it. It formed a design. How did they do that from a sound frequency? And the higher the frequency got, the more the design changed. Nobody's manipulating this. It's all doing this off of a sound frequency. So if your brain operates off of a frequency itself, your heart operates off of a frequency itself, your cerebral spinal fluid operates off of a frequency itself, your lymph fluid that flows through your body operates off of frequency itself. So one of the things that we noticed, and this is just something that we did while in school too, you can get high off of music. If you play music, which a lot of folks like, definitely black people, and not at least in America, like music got that heavy bass and that beat to it, that bass, that boom, boom, boom. Your heart can actually try to go to the rhythm of what that bass is being pushed out of the music that you're listening to. So what can happen if the heart rate can slow down a little bit, causing you to become a little bit deoxygenated. When you become deoxygenated, it gives you a little bit of high in the brain. And actually, when that starts to happen, the first part of the brain that starts to actually kind of lose some blood is the frontal lobe. That's where all your reasoning takes place at. That's where all your pretty much your problem solving taking place at. And that's how people can get all crazy over the music, rock and roll people banging their heads and everything. That's why we look at things like, man, these folks are crazy. These people rocking out and banging their head like this. But then you look in the Black Club and they see people tearing the club up, jumping around, pushing each other and everything. So it's the same exact thing. So absolutely 100% music is a huge influence. Guys that I grew up with in Chicago, before they went and did a drive-by, they all were getting crumped up on music before they went and did it. You know, so the degeneracy came first. But what happened is that because the fact that it was not condemned, it was not pretty much being pushed out by a lot of parents. No, we're not going to tolerate this. We're not going to tolerate this. It was being praised. So you're giving praises and encouragement to something that's going to negatively affect somebody. And that's why they're capitalizing off of it. We know it.
So I agree with you 100%. I know that music can influence. That's why we listen to certain music in the gym, right? When we go to the gym,
I'm not saying music can't influence, but it can't make you do anything.
Okay, so check this out. To that right there, me being a musician, it can make you do something because all I got to do is play a certain melody. It's going to put you in the mood. So how did that mood get there? You weren't in a certain mood. I got a piano right here. If I sat there and play something Beethoven, real melancholy, you can't help but feel that way.
No,
that's what
this is.
Wait,
no,
I'm just saying.
This is what I'm saying when I say that. I understand what you're saying, but it can't make you go do something other than what it's trying to get you to do.
But you're not fully understanding the point
if
here.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. I understand influence and I understand it can make you feel a way, but it still goes back to you if you're gonna do that action.
So you're not understanding fully. It can actually influence you subconsciously.
Do y'all get what I just said?
You don't get what you're saying because you don't understand the definition.
I understand both definitions.
Do you understand?
Y'all not getting what I'm saying.
So okay, so let's say this real quick. Let's say
I understand influence and I understand how it makes you feel. But my point is, it goes back to self accountability. Will it make you do it?
So did a kid choose to let a sexual predator take advantage of them because they chose to do something with a sexual predator? Did that sexual predator have an influence on that kid to make that kid actually just
what
go
they
and do
got
it?
to do with music?
Right. So my point is saying I'm talking about the influence of it. You get what I'm saying?
What the fuck does that have to do with
I'm getting
music?
ready to tell you. So if these people that are considered to be predators, they have such an influence on the kid to have the kids do something.
See, y'all got the right word. I just told y'all broke down the definition of influence and what makes a person do it. I said what goes back to self accountability. You can have both of those, influence and then what makes the music make you do shit.
Boom, 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 boom.
Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it?
Okay, so let me debunk this real quick.
Not.
Let me
see.
Debunk
This goes back to
Wait
when he brought up that crazy shit about the child predator shit. I'm like, that has nothing to do with music, but I'm like,
the point that I'm talking about is the fact of how deep of an influence it can have on them.
Are you gonna act on it? Are you gonna act on it?
Jesus Christ!
You can have influence. I can influence. Charles Manson had influence.
Oh,
he can do music.
Oh my Lord!
Charles Manson had influence, but he didn't kill nobody.
No, he did not have influence. What are you talking about, bro?
Listen, nobody has more influence than DMX. Okay. Listen. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Listen, if you catch me on the Dunkin' Donuts line and DMX is playing and you cut in front of me, I'm more than likely gonna bop you in the back of your head. Okay.
But
I'm gonna run because he's
music that's influential. Listen, but if I'm listening to Taylor Swift or something, I might not.
Watching Mike. Somebody's typing. No, say
that's not me.
Say something.
That's not me.
Somebody's typing.
It ain't me. Y'all can't blame this shit on me.
Tristan, is that you?
Tristan?
Like everybody put their hands up.
That ain't me, goddamn.
What the fuck is that?
Some motherfucker that's doing some motherfucking.
Where's the moderators at, man?
So I want to. I didn't realize my mic was off. I wanted to ask MRM something.
Somebody typing like they goddamn it got this.
Simon.
Simon, you're the culprit.
Fuck.
Oh, he was the culprit. We caught him.
So MRM, I agree with
No,
you.
they're coming for me all the time. I don't know
Jesus
what else.
Christ, huh?
Simon, can
Go ahead,
you?
no saint.
Even the
All right.
Wi-Fi is freezing.
So MRM, I want to so exactly. I know what you're talking about, like the anapestic beat of like rock music. Some of them use an anapestic beat, which it actually it affects the heart. The like what was it? We Will Rock You, I think, is an anapestic beat.
That boom,
Boom, boom, bah, boom, boom, bah, boom, boom, and it actually affects the rhythm of the heart. So you're absolutely 100% spot on when it comes to music and the way it affects mood. So that is an influence right there. I just wanted to bring that up because I remember hearing about that like a long time ago, like the different ways music affects the mood and things like that.
See, I understand all that. Y'all missing my point. I'm like, even though you understand all that, do you have to act on it?
No, but it affects like
even
said.
Michael Jackson, like the.
No, that's what I'm
but
saying.
What he said, you do. Well, like he's saying, you'll see people you'll see people tearing things up.
The point that I said that once it does influence you to that way, that the part that calls you to do all your reasoning and thinking, the blood gets pulled away from your frontal lobe, so you do end up doing it. You don't have to. That's if it wasn't so strong, they wouldn't be keep on constantly pushing it out like they're doing right now.
That's not my point.
And we failed to realize that.
My point is, are you acting on that?
You're the one that's choosing to do it. You can't help it because it influences you that great. That's why it's there.
No, but this is my point.
I can change your mood with the stroke of a key. I can change your entire mood with a stroke. What in the world? Somebody's like
that's
down.
Somebody, goddamn it! Is that the feds? Lord Jesus!
That sounds like a short in the wire.
Yeah, right. No, that sounds like somebody typing like the feds. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, I get what you're saying. When you're saying like, no matter what, ultimately you're going to be the one to come down and say, okay,
yeah, that's
I'm getting
all
ready
I'm
to go
saying,
and do X, Y, and Z. But the thing is, because it has such a huge impact,
that music doesn't have influence or make you feel a way. I said it boils down to you if you're going to act on the feeling or emotion.
Right. So check this out.
That's all I'm saying.
So kids are more likely to do things that are risky than adults.
Right. And so, and the reason why I'm saying that is because that's why they want to get you at a young age, because when you get to a young age, and music can have that much. If it gets to you at a very young age, then you no longer have pretty much the capacity to even want to think for yourself. You're just used to being driven by stimulus. That's why everything wants to be right now, stimulus, everything, phone. Nobody even have the capacity to even sit back and even think logically anymore. And they know
that's what I was saying.
And
right. So what I'm saying,
we failed to forget that young people's brain, their frontal lobe is not even fully developed until 25 anyway. So to sit here and act like they are fully capable of being able to understand and follow through what the possible consequences are, it's scientifically proven that's not how it works. So to your point, MRM, yes, that's why they want to get them young, because they know this is scientifically proven.
You have a generation of people that doesn't think. They just
study psychology. I'm an epistemologist.
Really?
I'm an epistemologist. Look it up.
Anyway, I just want to ask a quick question.
Look up epistemology.
Does anyone? Okay, brother.
Just
does
because
anyone
you
know?
don't agree with me,
Nobody wants to know your fetish.
I agree with you.
No
and
one
then it broke
is
down
disagreeing
to the
with
natural
you.
human nature.
Can someone mute him for a quick second? I'd like to get a point out real quick.
Heron, my nigga. That's my nigga.
Now, does anyone know the function of a hook in a song?
No.
What the overall function is?
No, just teach us. No.
What?
The overall function of a hook in a song. You know the
overall hook in the song is to
it's a chant.
It's a chant. It's to repeat the agenda of whatever you're trying to get that song to do. I know what, dog. Do you not know?
And the whole point.
Dog, do you not know who I am, my nigga?
Oh well, you're Episcopalian, right? Whatever the fuck you just said.
Epistemologist.
So
I
you know what I
study
mean.
psychology.
So anyway,
That's above your mind frame right now,
yeah,
dog. I got you.
I know.
No,
That's
we're calling
above
him a
his
diet.
mind
Is
frame.
that a diet plan? What is that?
Hey, his mind frame.
Anyway,
Hey, if anybody studies psychology, they know what
anyway,
epistemology means.
can
I'm
I
gonna
fix
break this
my? Can
down
I finish my
in
point,
layman's
man?
terms.
Can I finish my point, man? God damn. God damn. That's a talking ass nigga. Anyway, the point that I'm making here is that there have been many times when we've heard songs that we dislike, but if we constantly keep hearing it, after a while we remember this song. So the point of the matter is that if you keep hearing something, it's going to root into your subconscious. So the whole point of what the gentleman on the lower left was saying, like, yes, music does actually hijack your hypothalamus, particularly at 520 hertz. You know what I mean? Your actual, yes, your blood levels and so on and so forth will be affected. And this is coming from someone who actually is a composer. So yeah, go ahead.
Haran, have you heard? I'm sure you listen to a lot of music. The Blues Travelers, the hook in that song that makes absolutely no sense, but he says the hook brings you back.
But it was catchy as shit. It was catchy as fuck though.
Yeah,
and it made sense.
Yeah, it's a bunch of nonsense. He's telling you in the song, he's singing about absolutely nothing, and then at the hook he says, "But the hook brings you back," and it was a catchy song. It
really was.
Right.
So if you have those kind of situations, after a while they put these. There's a reason why there are melodies. There's a reason why there's things, because the mind responds to repetition. Okay, it responds to repetition.
And then,
you can
like,
train somebody. You can train someone.
Is there truth to the fact that, like, Michael Jackson recorded his music or something at a certain frequency, but then now the hip hop of today is recorded at an entirely different frequency? Like, Michael Jackson's music was more promoting love, like it was like a love frequency, versus like this one is more of like sex, and like it is guarded towards like more of like your primal instincts, like the sex and the violence and things like that. Is that true?
I mean, if you grew up around like black, like my mom, I could just say, like, every time they would have like these house gatherings or anything like that, you would see where, I mean, within the first 5 seconds of the song, if it's do boom, they already starting to do all this and everything, and the music just started playing. So we already knew they must gonna be talking about something nasty in this song, because look how they already moving before the stuff even happened.
Right.
And then you can tell that everybody, that's when they had house parties and stuff like that, that when the music was playing, they knew if we played another type of music, everybody kind of, okay, yeah, well, I'm about to go chill because this ain't I'm about to go get a drink real quick and sit down, because the song changed and it seemed like it took everybody out of that mood. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that deep. Sorry, Joe.
I just want to say this real quick to my smokers, your bud and shit, whatever the fuck y'all doing. There's a PSA. You can't roll up on camera. You can't light your shit on camera. So get off camera, roll up whatever the fuck it is you smoke, or whatever it is you do. I can't have it on the camera. I can't have you rolling up and lighting up on my panel. So make sure you got all your smoke and all your drink before you pop up. Okay.
Damn, Lily got out of here quick with that one. What happened?
I'm smoking Black and Miles. What the fuck?
What you guys are talking about? It's not that serious, man. Like, people
I'm like, I'm
very much
Black
so
and
is.
Miles. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not rolling.
No, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the smoking. Hold it for a second. I'm talking about the music. I'm talking about like people being in the studio, like people sort of thinking about putting out productions to people. We don't actually think about it like that. We sort of think about it like, oh, they're just doing a music video or whatnot. Like, Michael Jackson was not stupid. Do you get what I mean? He didn't acquire his estate because he was stupid. Like, and the fact of the matter is we want to be blasé about all of this. In fact, about every other artist that came after him, just based on the fact of how we were rolling as new generations, and how they had to acquire their wealth, and how they had to have their own properties and estates.
There's a echo. Someone has an echo.
Sorry.
There's a bit.
If I remember correctly, I believe James Brown owned his masters as well as Ray Charles.
So can we talk about, we can't deny really the influence, especially in our neighborhoods. Like, when Jay-Z, was talking about being the biggest drug dealer on the block, Rick Ross, same thing, 50 Cent, same thing. Like we spoke about yesterday, that's very appealing to a kid in a neighborhood that's disenfranchised and he has no money. He sees a man that looks like him, same complexion, you know what I mean? Come from the same neighborhoods, and he's like, I want to be that guy. That guy has all the girls in the music video. That guy has all the money. He has the white on white, like I got the whole thing bleached. You know what I mean? It is influential, and that's what kids want to do. It's the same thing with all these stripper rappers we got now. We have female rappers who don't even come from a strip background, jerking, and twerking and sliding down poles. We got Meg Thee Stallion who went to school, graduated from college, I believe, college educated, and she's twerking and sliding down poles, right? There are a lot of female rappers now that are acting like strippers. Cardi B is the only one I know that was an actual stripper. So young girls are like, what the fuck I gotta go to school for? I could go to a strip joint. Mona Scott could put me on Love and Hip Hop and I can be wealthy. So it's very influential. I don't want people to think that we're just talking about influence like, oh, go run out and do a drive-by. But it's even more so influential about, money, jewelry, clothes, showing your red bottoms on Instagram, your Gucci, the Louis. I mean, these rappers are, French and Italian label mascots. That is what I call them. They are mascots, right? Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Fendi. They don't even have to advertise because they know rappers who have 50 million followers are going to be their mascot. They're going to stand there with the Louis Vuitton hat, the Louis Vuitton jacket, the Louis Vuitton shoes. They're literally mascots. So that could be influential as well in hip hop, not just the drive-by. But it's like, I'm going to go strip. Why do I have to finish school? Look at what Cardi B did. Look what Meg is doing. Even though Meg went to school, she's still portraying some two-bit ghetto girl that didn't have a choice.
That's really, really true. And a lot of people don't even know Nicki Minaj is an actress. So is Drake. So what I always like to say is that I don't consider them to be rappers. So like when it comes to like ministry, like church and stuff like that, I say there are some people that are taught how to preach versus people that were called to preach. So you got some people that actually like Pac and them, they were rappers, but a lot of rappers out there, they are actors and actresses first. So they know how to act rap, but they really not are what I consider to be at heart rappers. Drake was in all type of teenage shows up there in Canada and all that. And Nicki Minaj played in a lot of little shows herself. So I always say when I look at them, yes, they know how to rap because they was taught how to do it, but to consider them to be like legit bona fide rappers that I was used to growing up, I'm just kind of, there's not too many people that I consider to be rappers now. You can just turn on auto-tune and put a good beat to it and say some off-the-wall dumb stuff that don't make any sense, and they're going to eat it up because it sells.
Hey, as a person that
That's a good point.
my bad.
No, but I was going to say the fact that they have to hide the fact that a lot of them, except for Megan, but a lot of them hide like the fact that they come from stable two-parent homes, that they are highly educated, that they're well-spoken. For my people who are in the entertainment business, who have met some of these people, mumble rappers in person, you find out like they're like very well-spoken. So that says a lot.
What does it say? What does it say though?
It says that it's a lot of degeneracy going on in the culture. This whole culture thing, it's toxic.
And
hey,
also
as a person that don't know how to put a
Imagine
song together, how do you
that.
start by putting a song
what's your
together?
link, brother? Put it in the chat because you plugging yourself like a motherfucker. Just put the
No,
link in the chat.
as a
You know what I'm
person that
saying?
don't know how to do music or understand none of this, how do I put a song together?
What?
Personally, what happens here?
I'm asking a
to play on
question
Neely's
for
point,
people that's listening.
we're sitting here and we're having a conversation about
No,
something.
I'm asking like, cause they're
Brother,
listening to
brother,
like you have to have
brother,
a certain
brother,
way to do
that has
it.
nothing to do
Is
with
it a
what's going
certain way
on
to
right
do
now.
it?
That's
But
cool.
then
I mean,
you agree,
he's
brother.
asking the question, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
but
how do
what-
you,
what
how
I
do you
would
feel
like-
like?
But
I
Aaron
would
was getting ready to
like
respond to what
to
Lily
speak
said, though.
to
So we're getting off
Lily.
track.
I would like to
No,
speak
I
to Lily.
said,
Will you remedial motherfucker shut the fuck up? God
damn, we
damn.
remedial now?
Yeah, like a motherfucker. Anyway, now about Lily, to your point, what I was
Wow, we
saying is
remedial
that
now.
what I was saying to your point was that their perception coming from a middle class world, a world that they actually have no involvement in, their perception of black culture is that degeneracy. So in some contexts, they're looking at that from a pseudo white lens.
What?
And that's how
Yep.
deep that fucking shit goes.
So let me say this, going back to what Lily was saying and what Haran just picked up on. I want to address this comment. Spider says 50 Cent got shot 9 times, though. That's actually a lie, right? Now, with that said, even getting shot 1 time is really, really bad. Okay, a ricochet is really, really bad. But 50 Cent did not get
Nigga
shot.
shoot my way. I'm in problem. I got problem with you.
Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. Let me drop you from the panel. Here's what's gonna happen. Okay, I understand that you're drunk and you're high or whatever it is you do. I don't give a fuck, no judgment. But you're being disruptive. If you don't know how to wait to speak your turn, do not come back up here. So I'm gonna leave you backstage. See if you could calm down and learn that there are fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other people on the panel. If you don't know how to wait your turn to speak, I don't need you up here. It is simple math. We are not in the alley. We're not playing dominoes. We're not shooting dice. This is a panel, and it has to be one person speaking at a time. So going back to what Spider said, yeah, he got shot. I believe it was 4 times, but 9 times sounds better on a rap record. Going back to what you said, Lily. So are we saying that black culture is degenerate, or is it toxic? Is black culture in general toxic?
What we have allowed to become our culture is toxic, right? Black culture is not toxic because Black culture is not monolithic, but the mainstream narrative of it has become toxic. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. No Saint.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate to bring these kind of things up sometimes, but I think that a lot of different genres of music are, many of them, like you were talking about, some of these rappers that are educated and things, do have a role to play. They are playing roles in music. Like when I think of, I mean, all the different genres of music, like country. I don't think everybody's driving a pickup truck with a shotgun in the back of their thing and have a dog, but they're playing to the people that want to hear that to sell records. The same with with many different types of music. So I think rap, country, these musics are just they're genres. There are certain genres that people like, but there's a lot of good, positive other music produced by Black people as well. And it's just that's just one, some of the rap, as I said the other day, some of the rap just sells to the lowest common denominator because it's people want to buy it. It makes a lot of money. But yeah, I just
Oh no! It's not that straightforward. Oh, wait a minute. That's kind of like going, okay, I'm gonna give a candy to a baby and they're just gonna take it when they're not. The fact is hip hop and rap music has been something that was built up for a long time, since the 1970s. And this actually was, if we want to put it into a real perspective, something that people really worked on. This came from people in block parties, from scratch, where they had nothing, and it got commercialized.
Yeah.
Right. So then the commercialization was based on the form that the government actually looked at it and went, okay, this is something we can actually sort of, gain tax money off this sort of stuff. And we can actually then, at the same time, allow these people to maybe dig their own grave at the same time.
Okay,
whilst they're embracing their own culture. Okay, so let's not be funny about this. Okay?
No, I'm not being funny, but you're making a lot of accusations that I don't really think you can prove. You're saying the government is actually saying they can make money off of this, like the government is behind rap. And I don't think you have any evidence to support that at all.
All right, cool.
What about interjection?
I mean, thank you for the super chat, Don Levon. Don Levon said Haran is having to cuss the motherfucker out almost every night. He's streaming now. He's streaming. Haran's streaming now. This is the life.
But quick question: why does everybody always go back to like the government? Because like they want to not hold any accountability for the degeneracy. It is what it is.
Well,
like
that's why we're having.
I'm not understanding this.
I didn't say anything about the government. My bro brought up the government. I didn't bring up the government.
No, you. Oh, okay. You said the government.
You want to tape, bro?
You said you brought up the government being behind allowing the black community to dig their own grave through music, like they promoted it. I said you have no evidence that's you just saying that. There's absolutely nothing to support that.
So I wasn't really sort of intrinsically bringing up the government like it was a cause. I was just saying, it was part of it.
I can't believe that because the government don't give a shit. Like I think us as black people have a big issue of thinking we're bigger than what we are. As like if music was this influential thing, the government would have shut it down. They are known to shut it down. So I can't agree with that based off of history. If the government thinks like, this can be an issue, they'll shut it down.
They're letting people call themselves maps instead of pedophiles. So I mean,
exactly.
Saying that the government.
What that means, but I mean, you want to talk to Jam Master Jay, and I guess his siblings will have a situation about it.
I mean, if I play devil's advocate, I think where people get this from, or why people question it, is because you can say, I'm gonna kill the obs, nigga, this and that all day long. But if you say the JEW word or even question anything about that, immediately it's like, but then I have to come back and say, that's because they ain't allowing that shit in their culture. That's because the LGBT is not allowing that shit in their culture. That's so right. People only do what you allow them to do.
Well, I agree to a certain extent that, like, but on the other hand, if you have people of different, like you have white people saying, and on things, they do get pushback. They get pushback. So,
well, that's a white.
So they should.
That's what I'm saying. What she's saying, but she's saying there. So in other words, if I say, let's just say if I'm Jewish, and I talk down on Jews or something like that, I get a pass because I'm Jewish, right? Or if I'm a white guy and I start saying, white trash, white, I get a pass, right?
Unless you're a comedian. Yes.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, I think that has something to do with it, too.
Not even that. If you get a black guy even saying the word N himself as an N, he gets pushed back. Now,
where and when?
Whoa.
Where and when?
Nigga, please. No, I'm just...
Maybe in London, maybe in the UK. But over here, you get rewarded.
No.
Maybe in the UK.
It's everywhere.
No.
Listen, you got a UK bruv. I'm not the only one up here, right? So you're the other UK bruv, right?
Yep.
How would it work if you walked into a supermarket?
Yep.
And called another black bro, and the N-word.
We're saying the same thing. That's
you get shut down. You get shut down, bro.
Back to bite.
No, bro. No. Come on. I got guys call each other the N-word all the time. It's the same thing, bro. Come on.
You get shut down, bro.
What we're talking about the N-word in records, I think.
Do you know?
We're talking about the N-word. We're talking about the N-word in hip hop culture in records.
You ever heard of NWA niggas with attitude? Like they made a record called Niggas for Life. Like
they don't recognize that. They don't recognize that in Asda or Walmart.
In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad.
Yeah, I mean, yo, you stupid gotta be a crime now. I'm sorry. I said.
You could have pulled that up on my channel. You want to pull it up on here? God damn.
Listen, I have no. See, I'm a firm believer in saying stupid things. Stupid questions do exist.
So
there is a thing as a stupid question.
I love it.
Simon, are you delirious right now? Because this ain't you, man. I'm like, you're more coherent than this.
He was a lot more fun when he was asleep.
Yo, I'm done.
Not asleep.
Can I say something? Yeah. What? It's quite controversial here.
Hold on, because we're coasting right now. What do you think about what Cox said? Rap culture is not black culture, but then there was a whole war a couple months back about rap and hip hop is black culture. So now blacks have nothing. The blacks have nothing to do with rap and hip hop. Now it has nothing to do with them, even though it's.
I mean, you pretty much said that brown and immigrants had nothing to do with hip hop and rap and shit like that. You said that it was all yours, all yours. Every last string of it was all yours. So I'm confused.
I'm confused. Yeah.
Technically, it's American culture. That's just what it is.
It's a global culture. I
said, like, is this our way to make the most money? Allegedly, I guess, but it's the stats say it's not. But it's like it's not black culture. This is part of black culture. That's a part of American culture. I just
think that black people are just spending way too much time trying to extract themselves from any kind of responsibility in terms of the culture, in terms of how it's profiting. They still want to make money off it though. So you want to make money off it, but you don't want to deal with the consequences and so on and so forth that comes along with it.
No, Trump supporter says what?
I think you just need to speak to the people that have actually created it, because we're commentators, right? So when you actually go back and speak to people like Big Daddy Kane, or you speak to people like
Legend,
or you speak to people like
Curtis Blow,
Curtis
Cool
Blow,
okay,
speak to the people that have actually created it. We're commentators. We're like journalists out here.
Okay, speak to them for.
We know the history.
I ain't gonna
reason
speak
being,
for them.
why should we speak? Why should we speak to them? We're talking about modern black culture right now. We're talking about modern hip hop culture and the degeneracy involved in it, and how it affects all of it.
And Simon, and I get
about that.
Yeah, Simon, I get what you're saying, but if just a little tangent, if you're trying to go back and talk to pioneers, there's a lot more cultures and races involved that brought hip hop to what it is now. You just can't sit there and just focus only on the blacks as Curtis Blow and the others that you said. So it's going to be another cycle of who really owned it. Was it the blacks or the Puerto Ricans? I said that's what's going to happen. So it's a no conversation.
I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from.
I want to say
I do, but it's just for real. Like, come on, like when I have people like certain types of people speaking to me, I'm just like, why are we commentating? We're just next generation. I've got to take my place. I step back and I'll listen to them. Now if we're on next commentary shit, then that's different. But I ain't about to sort of try and.
You can't say that when the money is different. If a ghetto kid from Chicago is making more money than KRS-One ever did his whole career, why is he going to listen to KRS-One about anything? I'm going to continue shooting up this one block that I've been shooting up every other week. I just have millions of dollars now. I said it doesn't get rid of the degeneracy. I said, why do we act like we listen to old heads for no reason?
Guy in his own feelings, nothing to do with music. Look, the fact of the matter is people who have been in tune with music, art, and anything of the sort have come out of that sort of mind state where you need to do that sort of crap, where you're choosing to pick up a gun and shoot anybody. Nobody does that. That's why we're on this level, because it's like we chose art. We didn't choose the gun. So when this
we chose that, man. We chose it. We chose that, bro. You have to be accountable. We chose that as our culture. You can't be denial.
No, it's not culture. It's not culture for you.
It's a hip hop culture, bro. Come on.
No,
modern.
And not only is hip hop a culture, it's also a religion. It's also it's a legit religion. There's a book called the Holy Hip Hop Bible, and it's written by KRS-One.
I blame Kennedy for this.
Look it up
at all.
You need to separate this stuff, because the difference is, and I can tell you by a 50-50 percentage on stats, women do not do the same thing men do in terms of their interest in art in the same stance that men have their same interest in art. We can have our interest in art as men and go, oh, we're going to bully up the place. We got to be in competition. Oh, we got to shoot up this place. Well, women do not do that. And they'll pull up. Hold for a second. They'll pull up a whole art gallery and be on yachts and be banging with these guys that you can't get with because of the fact that you're so in your damn interest and you're in your feelings and trying to run up against this next dude in your next door neighbor situation, which makes no sense and causes whole problems for your whole family. Listen, our art is very important. Like it's like the most important thing, and that's why Hitler turned around and put them shits in the cave. And that's why you don't know anything about that sort of stuff, because at the moment, what you're doing is you're just transcending from what you're seeing and trying to work it out. And you can't tell me anything else about it.
I don't know that word.
Is that a conversation?
I got off the ride, and women don't respond the same way as men do. But where does all these BBLs come from? You know, like women are just as
BBLs come from art. They love art. They love the picture. They love
trolling.
the image.
You're trolling. I don't care now. You're trolling.
It comes from fact, actually.
What did Hitler do?
Are you going to tell me something else? Are you going to tell me something else? What's Instagram about? Instagram's about image.
Okay, so the other part of that is when someone's shooting up the block, are they listening to classical music?
Pretty much. I mean, that Beethoven shit go hard, though.
John Bach.
In every gangster movie, they was listening to Beethoven. And Hannibal, he was listening to Beethoven. He was cutting them off.
Okay, so I muted some mics just so I can get a word out. Cox says, no, I didn't say that. I'm saying Black culture shouldn't be synonymous with rap music. That's detrimental. There are so many people that would vehemently disagree that Black is not synonymous with rap and hip hop. I don't understand. I'm trying to get your point, but there are people that will fight tooth and nail and actually do a drive-by if you try to remove Black from being synonymous with rap and hip hop. Okay, they will stone you to death if you try to say that it's not synonymous. So I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
He said it shouldn't be.
He's saying it shouldn't be versus it is, I guess.
Well, yeah, and that's what I don't like. When people say it should. We have to deal with what is, not what should be.
It shouldn't be.
Exactly.
But there are people that would argue different and say it should be because it is Black music. Hip hop is Black. That's
but
it was a fucking YouTube war about it.
Right. And the fact that, like, you know, there's a lot of people. Have you ever heard people do panels and then they about hip hop and then they bring up Eminem and they're like, I want to give him his props, but I can't because he's white. But you know he's good, but he's white. He sold millions of records, but he's white. That's our culture, you know. So it's like it is anonymous. And I don't like when people deal with the shoulds and shouldn'ts. We always have to deal with what is. We can't heal shoulds and shouldn'ts. We can only heal what is.
Hey,
But
Lee. Hey, Lee. I agree with you on that's what I've been saying. I'm like,
hold on a
let's
minute.
deal with what is.
Hold on a minute, because I want to finish his point. He said, and again, what about blues, jazz, and R&B? Nobody gives.
What about him?
Like nobody gives. That's the honest truth. Mainstream doesn't care about blues, jazz.
No, that's where they get their beats from.
Don't care about. That's not my point. I'm not talking about rappers sampling music. If you listen, if you shut the fuck up sometime and listen and let somebody get their thought out, okay, then you would hear what I was saying. I'm not talking about how hip hop records come to be. I'm talking about nobody in the mainstream gives a fuck. The Super Bowl did not put jazz musicians up there and R&B singers. They had 50 Cent, Eminem, and fucking Snoop Dogg crip walking. That is my point. Now, whether or not those men get their samples from jazz musicians, that's another show. That's another show.
First of all, jazz and blues are predominantly listened by white people. On average, most black people today do not listen to no blues and jazz. I'm sorry. I barely really listen to real R&B. All right, you said it like 4 times, nigga. Like,
so,
all right.
Cox, I did.
How they don't listen to it? That's where they sample it from.
Yo, he's slow.
No, you slow.
No, you slow. You hella
you slow.
This is why. You know what? Goodbye. Good night, sir. This is why I don't like letting people up who are drinking and smoking because they're unbearable. Goodbye. Have a good evening. Cox, going back to, I know you're saying it shouldn't be, but it is. That was my point. You're saying it shouldn't be, but it is. It is synonymous.
And that's our, and whose fault is that? And that's the problem with
it's Haran's fault. Everybody, this is what we should do. Just blame Haran because he can deal with it. Okay, I just blame Haran for everything. It works out.
And I usually close my door. That's my choice.
Exactly.
I can close my door. I can tune people out. Yeah, man.
Just everybody blame her. I blame Haran for slavery and everything. I just blame Haran. Okay.
Hey, fuck it.
I keep on thinking, like I said, I wasn't able to get it all the way out, but the point is that the fact that if it was not such a strong and powerful tool, why do they keep on letting it ride? So what's dangerous about it is this. Okay, so you can get this thing that happens in psychology that you can get a positive feedback loop for something that's negative if you're unaware of what it is that you're doing is negative. So an example I'll give you is my nephew, okay? When he was young, well, he's a kid, they thought it was cute in the hood to have him say patu bit. That's his way of saying F-U-B to somebody, right? So somebody would come in, there's like, hey, Keith, yo, tell him that. He'll go up to me, go patu bit, and everybody, everybody laughed. So he was taking that like, it made people laugh. It made them feel good. They encouraged him to do it, right? He goes to school. Guess what he starts saying to people? He starts saying that to me, patu bit, and the teacher, what did you say? She's calling, parents show up, they take him home. They started spanking him. And I know it's not funny because I'm thinking about it, but they started spanking him because he said that. And while they were spanking him, he was crying, going, patu bit, while getting the spanking. Because he couldn't figure out, like, what am I getting this pain for when everybody was encouraging it at first? It was, they were laughing about it. They were, say it to him. So he thought it was a good thing that he was doing, but now he's getting in trouble for it. So what I'm saying that for is that when you look at a lot of our music out there in the streets, what they're putting out there and what they're allowing to be played, we praise that type of behavior. We praise it. You know what I'm saying? He was a real nigga right there. Oh, I'm telling you what, if I go down, I ain't saying nothing to no cops, man. I ain't no snitch. And people, he got respect to that nigga for not telling on nobody, man. So you sit up there praising something that actually is negatively affecting not only your community, but you as well. But because that type of psychology has been placed on there for so long at a young age, they don't even know how to think for themselves. They just go based off of stimulus, no matter what. And that's why I was saying, I know he was saying that music can't make you do anything, but it's like, yes, it can, because if it already gets and it entices you at a young age, that attitude and behavior has already been formulated. Therefore, you just go and do it without even giving no reason to, because your brain is not developed enough yet to actually think about those things yet. They just do it. I'm telling you, that's why I tell people, I don't know if any of y'all been in church or went to church. The minute somebody gets up, they start playing dun, 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 dun. Kids will get up and take off flying, running, not giving no thought, having no idea why they're doing it. So it definitely can have an effect on you to that extent.
Going back to what Lily was saying about dealing with what is not what we want it to be, right? I understand I understand the passion behind someone saying, where's the comment?
It shouldn't be synonymous.
No, Jay Regal, right? People are very passionate about every genre of music is Black culture. If not, it derived from Black music. Rock and roll, jazz music, metal came from Black music, right? Trans music came from Black music.
Death music.
It doesn't fucking matter. The reason why it doesn't matter is because white people dominate country music. So you could jump up and down and pull your hair out and say, but it started from a Black cowboy. Nobody gives a fuck. White people
we have Hootie
music. We do have
Charlie Pride. Charlie Pride.
Right,
it's a bit. It's kind of silly. It's kind of silly.
Well, I want to comment, because this goes back to what Mr. T there was saying earlier. So we all know hip hop or rap music started in New York, and then it spread, and then it's now a world music. So with rock and roll and all these things, yes, they have a foundation in gospel and things like this, but you can't say that because it started that way, the product coming out now is somehow would have been the same. It's different because it gets influence from different cultures and different people. So it turns into it's got a foundation, but it's not like, oh, well, rock and roll is somehow owned by, it's just kind of silly when you say somebody owns something. No, you influence things, and things get influenced. Just like Mr. T said, hip hop and rap is now a world music because you have reggaeton in coming out of the Latino community. Black people didn't create reggaeton, but it got influenced by Black people.
To play on your point, No Saint, being a New Yorker, and Jen, we all know this. The main reason why rap started back in the 70s and 80s and so on and so forth, the reason being is it was an attempt to distract us from basically killing each other. I mean, gang violence was wild back then, especially up in the Bronx. You know what I mean? So we didn't have any rec centers. We didn't have things put in place to keep us occupied, to keep us, from just basically, falling into our own vices. So hip hop was created as somewhat of a gentle distraction, some way to have fun and so on and so forth. The irony of that is that we used it to save us from that violent world to some degree and from that poverty. And here we are, full circle, right back into selling that concept and idea to the world and standing next to that perception and guarding that perception. And we guard that perception. We guard Black people as being from poverty, being from less than, and we indulge in the victimhood. And that is a fact.
No way. No way, Jose. I'm sorry, man. I am so sorry, bro.
Go on. Simon, say your piece, man.
That was an astonishing piece of work. I'm just sorry.
Just say you lost your train of thought. Just say you lost mid thought.
I'm thinking how I could record this and play it to the next generation that comes up, because what this guy just said, he needs to replay in his mind, and he needs to re-speak and say it over and over again in the mirror about 10 times.
What part of
the whole thing? No.
So you can't remember anything that stuck out?
Look, I'm dealing with multiple things. I'm dealing with multiple things at this point in time. What you just said, bro. What you just said, bro.
Speak, man. Speak.
Makes me
for the queen. For the queen.
Yo, the queen.
We're gonna take a break. Take a break.
The queen's dead. The queen's dead. The queen's dead.
Okay,
Long live the king.
dead. Okay.
Long live the king.
All right. So let me moving on. Cox said, just saying rap music is not a representation of Black culture and rap music hasn't. That's a lie. That's a lie. Man, what do you mean it's not a representation of Black culture? If you watch any rap video and then go to any hood in the Bronx where I was born and raised, those guys are dressed just like the guys in the rap video. They're wearing the same boots, the same jewelry, the same clothes. What do you mean it's not a representation of Black culture?
How old is Cox?
I don't know how old Cox is. I have no idea.
I feel real funny about referring to him as Cox, but you know, I mean, it is what it is.
Someone mentioned BBLs earlier. Those are the girls that are used in the music videos. And now all the chicks on Instagram are running around with BBLs. It's very
baby hair.
Yeah,
lace front, baby hair, heavy drag queen makeup, like
yes,
all of that. Like and it does sound like a younger person who hasn't been around enough summers to see how many times hip hop has influenced fashion.
The only reason I wear Adidas is because of Run DMC.
Right.
Because it's nostalgic for me. So it's like I gotta wear my Adidas, but it ain't because of the company. It's because of Run DMC.
Right. Yes. The door knockers, all of that.
Yes. So it definitely does. It is.
Used to be the Kango hats.
Can I make a point then? Can I make a point quickly?
Sure.
Because if we're considering that, for example, yeah, obviously Run DMC, my Adidas, yeah. If we're considering that, for example, yeah. Going back to hip hop and Jen's original point of the whole title of the show, can we therefore argue that it's white culture? Sorry, it's white dominated multinational record companies, yeah, and media companies that therefore form Black culture then? Because when you think about it logically, when you think about it, the degeneracy may come from us, yeah. Marketing itself, by principle, is based on social attitudes and behaviors to make profits. So yes, we are degenerates. That therefore is somehow accepted by these marketing companies, yeah, who therefore threat back at us and say, "This is your culture. This is you." Therefore, in turn, it's white multinationals, companies that form our culture. You think about it logically, because if they control the media, they're actually throwing back our degeneracy at us and in turn making a profit. Does that make sense? A global profit.
That's
and
why
in
I was saying
turn,
capitalizing.
sadly, sorry, let me finish. Sadly, deaths, killings, whether it's Jamaica, whether it's Chicago, Atlanta, Hackney, London, West London, they've all bought into this drill hip hop culture, and we're actually killing each other based on a culture which has been regurgitated back to us. So for them, it's a threefold profit. We kill each other, they profit, and they're in control of it. Does anyone want to contest that with me, or does that resonate?
I understand what you're saying, but there's also the idea of if the supply isn't there, they cannot basically give it to the people per se. It still comes down to it still comes. Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. It still comes down to us taking some sort of accountability,
exactly,
taking some sort of responsibility for our culture and so on and so forth. And that is my overall point, where so many people are dancing around the importance of that, and they constantly keep wanting to put it on the shoulders of the boogeyman. You know what I mean? But when it's time, when it's time to actually acknowledge the culture and rap music for who started it and who should take credit and so on and so forth, you know what I mean? Then, you know, most of the culture being Black has no issue with actually saying that, yes, we are the pioneers and the creators and architects of rap music. But when it comes time to actually answer for the degeneracy and the detrimental effects that have happened, then all of a sudden motherfuckers are really quick to really pass the buck, real quick. And I think that's just hypocrisy, and I just think that is cowardice at the end of the day.
Okay, sorry, Jen. Give me just one quick point. I agree with everything you said there, and actually you took the word accountability out of my mouth. I agree with all of that. However, going back to Jen's original title point, let's go back. Let's say, it's generally accepted in the global Black community and hip hop community that around 2000, early 2000, there was a change. We know this. So how can it be that a culture which obviously was more positive, we had Public Enemy, Chuck D at the time, X-Clan, Tribe Called Quest, we had all these positive groups. There's more diversity. You had hip hop like De La Soul. We had R&B, Jodeci, love making. There's no R&B groups out there now, is there? Male or female at that level. Okay, there used to be a plethora of them before. Now there's hardly any, because again, love is is Black love. It's a romantic thing. That's gone now. Everything now is come narrowed down to this degeneracy. Yeah. The point I'm making is, how can it suddenly be that way when everything was so positive? Okay. And as we know, just make this point, you can contest this. If we embrace a positive culture, for example, it's all positive, we're all on the same page, and then negativity creeps in, and we're all negative now. Yeah. If we embrace that negativity so long, yeah, we can't get back to the positive again. It just makes sense. If you embrace your lowest denominator and celebrate that, then it's practically impossible for you to embrace the positive again. It'll take decades.
So you're saying that in order to turn the hip hop around and get it back to the X-Clan days, and
I'm talking about not just the hip hop, but the culture itself, because it's a monotone culture, isn't it? Like hip hop now is Jay-Z, Beyonce, grills. You have guys with tattoos on their face, like Kodak Black.
I don't think it could turn back. I don't think it could turn back.
You don't think so? You don't think so? Me neither. No, me neither. But hey,
you know what's funny?
But going back to this, I'm sorry. I'll be very quick. Back to the guy in the corner's point. I can't see his name. My screen's different. He mentioned West country and Western music. I understand all that, but okay. I appreciate that. I respect that, and but we don't have Box Car Willie shooting shots at Kenny Rogers. You know what I mean? It's not negative in that aspect. That's the difference, really. That's all I'm gonna say, really. You guys, you know what I mean?
The comparison is absolutely asinine. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing.
Different genres. Yeah.
When people compare hip hop music to any other genre on planet Earth, to me, it is asinine. Okay. Yeah. Rappers are killing each other literally monthly. There's a new guy.
Daily, weekly.
Okay. These people are getting robbed for their jewelry. All right. They're killing each other in the streets like fucking animals. Like, there's no other music genre like that in the world. Okay. There's no other music genre in the world that talks about their women continuously and consistently like they are hot garbage. There's not one genre on planet Earth. So I agree wholeheartedly with what Haran said, where it's like when you talk about the birth of hip hop, or who invented breakdancing, or who invented this, and it's like everybody's rushing in to claim it, right? People, to the point, I saw somebody in chat, they make money off our culture. We let anybody in the culture. So it's your culture when other people are making money off of it. It's your culture when other people are claiming that they started X, Y, Z. But it's not your culture when they're killing each other in the streets like rabid animals. It's not your culture when all the female rappers are strippers in thongs and twerking at the Grammys. It's not your culture then. Then it's not synonymous with the culture at all. So it's like, sometimey much?
Yeah, you know what?
Can I say one thing?
Let Lily speak, man.
I feel like most of us are at the age where we were still young, relatively young, when the shift started to happen in the hip hop culture. And if we can remember our parents and elders saying, that's a slippery slope. And then us saying, but they're just rapping about what's going on in the hood. They're storytelling, right? So we didn't listen because they're old, they just don't understand, right? And so it had, and they saw something that we couldn't see because they've been alive long enough. They saw that this was the beginning of like it, the de-evolution period, right? So to think it's going to turn back, it's not, because the kids right now are listening to us and say, they don't understand. But then 10, 20 years from now, they're going to be saying the same thing, because it's not going to go back at all. It's not going to the talent is not coming back. You know why? Because it's cheaper to get them from Instagram. Okay? It's not coming back. Go ahead and give it up. Artist development is not coming back. It's not in the budget. Okay? So to think that we're going to get a variety, because it's not like, like, yes, in the very beginning we were hip hoppy and party music and everything like that. And I believe like the golden age to me was when we had the variety. When we did have the storytellers from the hood, and we did have the Digital Underground and Bahamadia and Diddy with the shiny suits and all of that stuff. When we had that variety, I feel like that was the golden era. That was the peak, and it has gone down ever since, and it's not coming back.
Yikes.
That's one point. Oh, sorry.
Hold on. Thank you for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says rap is Black subculture vested in the streets, like the mafia and triads, but we're the only ones that profit from our degeneracy.
Word. I was just gonna say, word by the way. I was gonna say, it's funny because, it's not a problem. I don't see it as a problem, but I do recognize that other cultures, like everyone profits off hip hop. Everyone profits off Black culture. Yeah, that we all know. But other cultures do close the doors to other cultures. For example, I can't go, as a Black person, you can't walk into a Indian Bollywood festival or event and get shine or get noticed. They won't have you on that stage. Same with the Jewish culture. Dare I say it, they're a closed door, So it's funny how everybody, no disrespect, but funny how everybody profits off Nubian culture, Black culture.
All right, let me push back on that.
Go for it.
How many people are in NBA that are Black?
Talking about music, not NBA.
Oh, no. You're saying everybody's profiting off Black culture. NBA, how many people there are Black? So you can't.
I'm talking about hip hop music.
You are going to profit off of other people's cultures when you're good at something.
The point being made is.
I mean, that's just.
Let me finish, bro. Please, let me finish.
Okay.
The point being made: Indian culture, Jewish culture, any other racial culture, you cannot profit off their culture. However, in turn, everybody profits off Black culture. That's all I'm saying in terms of hip hop culture predominantly. Then that's all I'm saying. No deflections.
But they protect their culture about what they don't allow degeneracy into their culture. So if we're going to call it our culture, we have to take responsibility and accountability for our culture. But you can't have the good and not accept the negative that comes from it as well.
No. It's a simple it's a simple point. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and maybe we should close the door if people feel that way. If people are more separatist in music and they feel that way, maybe that's the road they want to go down. But as it stands, going back to my original point, white music executives, all different cultures profit off Black music and culture. That's all I'm saying. Whether it's a good thing or bad thing, whether it's degeneracy or not, that's a sub point next to the point I've made. I understand what you're saying about NBA culture, but hey,
no, I'm just that's all I'm saying is
hip hop culture, which is global, where there are deaths of young Black men in the streets, whether it's London, whether it's the States, whether it's West Indies. That's my point. You can't compare shootings. Kids of 11, 10 over here getting shot dead. That does not compare or equate to Black NBA players. Sorry.
I think another thing too is something that I see a lot is you know, I'm on Instagram scrolling, and it could be a group of 10 Black people, and if a little white girl is in the middle, right, doing a little hip hop dance, and she's good at it, you know, they promote her like she's the hottest.
Exactly.
Like,
Yes.
right. And I'm looking at it like, why the fuck is it more important that this little white girl?
Okay, I'll answer you. I'll answer
I've got
that.
to hear this.
I'll answer that. It's the same reason that Larry Bird was a big deal in the NBA, because it's rare. It's just like if a Black person is
I
a
disagree.
superstar in ice hockey, it's rare, so they get more attention.
Okay, so but here's the thing. They get more attention and praise from Black people. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I get.
If you're going to gatekeep, you need to stop inviting everybody to the fucking barbecue.
Well,
you can start there. Okay, you can start inviting every white person that can hold a note, okay, an R&B note or dance a jig. You can stop fucking inviting them to the barbecue, right? And I've seen many a video, even when it's a white person visiting some tribe in Africa, the white person is always in the middle, flanked by the African tribe. Like, stop doing that shit if you're so hell-bent on protecting the culture and the music, and stop doing it.
I mean, hey, my big Black ass wasn't invited to every corporate party. So,
I mean,
hey,
what other culture?
Me too over here. Me too.
All right.
Corporate events, I was allowed in, and I'm more qualified than they are.
All right.
What other culture or race does that? I mean, it's a running joke. Oh, you could come to the barbecue. You invited to the barbecue. Well, now they're at the fucking barbecue.
Have you heard K. Michelle and her hobo tour about trying to get into country music? She's been on that hobo tour for 10 years, talking about how difficult it is for her. And she's extremely talented. You know, singer, songwriter, all of those things. They don't care.
So true.
Well,
they're not letting her. They're not inviting her to the soiree with the macaroni and cheese with raisins. She's not allowed.
Look what they did to Lil Nas X. Y'all remember that song? Take my horse to the old town road and gonna. So guess what? Until they found out that there was a rapper and it was Black, that thing was topping the country music charts. And it was like, oh, wait a minute, pull back. We can't put that up there as a country song no more. So then when they let Billy Ray Cyrus do it, then it was like, okay, put it back up there.
Yeah.
And I can't get mad at that because you're protecting your brand.
Right.
And
Exactly.
Black people do not protect their brand. Black people do not protect their brand.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what they did. They're like, oh, wait a minute now.
I tell you another thing. Black people love them some Eminem. Oh, they love them some Eminem. He is a hip hop god. There you go. He's at the barbecue. You're welcome.
Damn.
And that's what the point I was making earlier. Like, you know,
don't come for my Eminem.
No. I got a point to that though.
He's a good man. He's a good man over there. He's a good man.
I don't care about
nothing personal. Good man.
But what I'm saying, like, he sells crazy amounts of records, right? And but then at the same time, when they get on these podcasts with each other, it's always like, I don't know, you know. It's like, come on now. It's really.
Is Eminem that much better than Big L or Keras One? Why didn't they get the sign that he got?
Okay, so I'll give you some explanation. because there's a huge market of white people that are gonna buy Eminem. Maybe they won't buy a Black person's rap. Maybe they've never bought a rap record, and suddenly they see Eminem and they say, "Oh, there's a white dude that can rap, and he's pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and buy that." That's what that's about.
Right, that's why the label is doing it. I understand business, no say.
Yeah, I know you do. I'm just explaining why Eminem is allowed at the barbecue, because he can sell a whole bunch of records.
No, well, he's allowed at the barbecue, but it's two different barbecues. I understand why he's allowed at the barbecue with the
white people's barbecue with the with the bad potato salad.
I understand why he's allowed at the barbecue. Trust me, I know. And I understand you find any dancing monkey that could throw coins in a cup, you're going to put him out there. If I can make money off a dancing monkey, I'm going to get me a fucking dancing monkey. So I understand that. I'm not hating on that. I'm talking about the praise that he gets from the Black community. Like
Yeah, I hear
Eminem
you.
is cool with me. Eminem is cool with me, but I would never praise Eminem. I don't see a need when there's so many talented black rappers. I don't see a need. I don't see a need. I don't see a need to praise a little white girl that could do a hip hop dance and, you know, I mean, I don't see the need.
But-
even if it's rare, I don't see the need.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but that is, yeah, it's but what I'm saying is it's always including like a Chinese basketball player is going to be a rare thing, right? And I'm sure the Chinese people over, I mean, when Yao Ming was playing, the huge following of the NBA.
No, Saint, I know that they're rare.
Yeah. So then they get light. That's all I'm saying. So then they get the shine.
Bro, if that's the case,
going with your logic, no Saint. Let's turn those tables, right? And if you were doing something rare in an Asian country, they will not still invite you to the barbecue because you are still black.
That's
you
my
are
point.
Boom. Thank you. What this girl's name? Quality. Thank you, Queen. Thank you for that.
That's my point. They're like 3 black.
You can't come back from that, bro.
Wait a minute.
Stay down, man. Stay down.
No. Look, Diamond is Silk. Why were they put up on a pedestal?
They're like 3 black hockey players. I want to know how many. It's rare.
It's rare.
It's rare. I want to know how many white people are inviting those 3 black guys to the barbecue, or are they still yelling racial shit from the stands? That's what I mean.
Jackie Robinson was rare. Jackie Robinson was rare.
Yeah.
Didn't really work out for him.
I know. I mean, you're yeah.
I know
that was a different time.
I know why they get attention. I'm saying they're the only ones that invite everyone in. White people don't do it. Asian people don't do it. Latin people, depends where they grew up. Nobody does that. No one has this proverbial fake barbecue that everybody's invited to, long as they could dance a jig and rap. No other ethnicity does it.
There was a bunch. There were, I believe, quite a few black bands out around, I say, the late 80s or the 90s. But the main one was Living Color. They never really could. They never really were able to get.
I think Fish might have been one.
Yeah, maybe Fish, but they never got the traction that they could have gotten, because at the end of the day, it was being controlled by white males. Rock was being controlled by white males, and they didn't have a strong black, audience. They had a very small black audience.
To go with what you're saying, didn't Jimi Hendrix get invited to the shitty white barbecue?
Oh, no, wait a minute. Yeah, now you see, the thing about Jimi Hendrix, to clarify,
he got the acid.
No, wait a minute. To clarify Jimi Hendrix's history, he started out in New York. Yes, he could not get that much traction while he was out in New York. So yes, he did get picked up by I believe a producer. His name escapes me right now. From the UK, he grabs him up. He brings him to. He did bring him to the UK, and he did get busy. But however, we're not going to create this perception that he was, immediately accepted per se. There were a lot of white rockers who were intimidated. Eric Clapton being one of them.
Yep.
I would dare say he was the Salieri to his Mozart in many ways. So if we're going to really talk about the
passports.
All right. Hold on. I'm gonna throw some more at him. Lenny Kravitz, Slash. Lenny Kravitz
was mixed.
Slash
was mixed.
Okay, but what are they considered? Like, I understand what you're saying. They're mixed.
Lenny Kravitz
as black. Stop the cap.
What'd you say?
He wasn't. Slash wasn't considered black.
Slash doesn't present as black. I didn't know he was black till not that long ago. Honestly, I was like, let me see what Slash is, because he seems interesting. I didn't know that he was Mexican and black. I think Mexican and black.
No, I know his mom is black. I don't know what his dad was. But I think he was white. I'm not too sure.
I'm gonna need y'all to stop the cap in the chat. They capping hard in the chat.
What happened?
Now they talk about Eminem ain't nobody in ain't in nobody's top 3. Eminem was never praised like that.
Excuse me?
Come on now.
Excuse me?
Stop.
Eminem is the only rapper outside of Jay-Z at this point in time that cannot sell and can do nothing. But when he comes out with an album, it's going platinum automatically.
Somebody also
That's
brought
it.
up Prince. He says Prince is also an exception.
I mean, what happened when Bobby
No,
Caldwell came on the scene?
Wait. Prince's mom and father were black. What are
Yeah,
we
I don't know
talking
why he
about
said
here?
that. He said he's an
Why
exception.
did he exception
I'm
of
saying,
what?
I'm just saying, you got to throw in lake. What was that lake called? What's the lake? Lake Minnetonka, whatever you want to
Minnetonka.
call it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lake
you got to add that in there. He half white. You got to add that in there. He half white.
He's not half white, man.
That name alone, you got to put him in there. You got to be
He's
like, listen,
not
you half
half
white with that.
white.
Lake Minnetonka.
Prince is not half white.
Nope,
His mama
no.
and
On the lake
daddy.
genetics, he's half white. He's half white with the lake
Don't
genetics.
blaspheme, Tristan. You're blaspheming right now.
Pretty much. He's a black man. God damn it.
The cock said no cap, bro was cool, overhyped, not even close to hope. But who hyped him though? Who hyped Eminem? Who gave him 5 mics? Who says he's in the top 5 or top 10? Who says that? Who
Like
says
it, what was the? It was some white girl TikToker. What's her name? Bad Baby or something. And she's not the Danielle girl. She's not Catch Me Outside, is she?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm not talking about her. It's another girl. She had some TikTok thing that when I say it was the most simple ABC type of situation, and to see all of the black entertainers that was stitching it made me sick to my stomach, because do you know how many young black creators that get overlooked, that get shadow banned, and could have used that exposure from other black celebrities? That was really tripping me out. Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing when I was, I wish I could find it. It was the most idiotic.
Are you talking about period?
Yes, there you go. There you go.
I mean, yo, man, Elvis stole Chuck Berry, Sean.
Yes, that's what somebody did.
Elvis wasn't Chuck Berry. He stole a couple of moves and the whole 9 yards, and Elvis became Elvis. It's been happening.
Yeah, but Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber.
I will say, and I will say something real quick, Tony. I will say that I did see that Elvis movie, and from what I understand, at least Elvis did, like a lot of people say, well, he stole, but he gave credit to where he got his influences from. He did.
I think they did that in the movie, because nowadays everybody has Google. If that would have been portrayed the way it's supposed to be portrayed, they would give that movie hell.
No, I mean,
they
you can
do
look
change
up
narratives with
interviews,
these
but
movies.
since I've seen the movie, I've looked up interviews where he gives that's what I'm saying. He gives credit.
Okay, then I'll take it back.
Yeah.
I know that the Rolling Stones,
Definitely,
Muddy Waters,
and the Beatles,
and all of them, they gave them. Actually, he worked with them.
Yes.
The Stones actually worked with Muddy Waters. So I will say that, not all of them, take shit and don't do anything and basically leave people out there like Led Zeppelin did. So, it is what it is.
Well, Charlie Pride was about somebody that was a country singer. When I started doing reaction videos and I heard this singing going on, this black dude stepped out, I was shocked out of my mind. I had no idea this dude is the top all-time selling country artist, period. But what they did put above him was Elvis Presley. I don't know how Elvis Presley made it into country music. I have no idea. But Charlie Pride, if you heard the man sing, I mean, I'm just keeping it real, you would say, okay, that sounds like a very classical, good singing white man.
Yeah.
And when he popped out the scene, it was like, what the what? So and here's the thing, there were people back then that when Charlie Pride music was being played, they loved it, right? They loved it.
Yeah.
And then when they found out that he was black, it was like, hold on now. I've been letting this music play in my house all this time, and the man's black. They were heated over that.
Well, you don't remember how they did Tina Marie, her first album.
Oh,
they
my
didn't show
God.
her,
Yeah.
For that same
Bobby
they
Caldwell
snuck her into the cookout.
Bobby Caldwell, yeah.
The Righteous Brothers.
Man,
I'll
to
tell
the chat.
I'll tell y'all the story about Eminem, like way back before he even blew up, before he got signed. We were at a underground show, and some dude came on. He had a mask on, and this guy was just incredible. He was spitting it, and the whole crowd was into it. and you know what I mean, the DJ was in it, everybody was in it. Then he took his mask off. It was dead silence in the fucking room. It was Eminem. Of course, we didn't know it was Eminem. We were shocked because it was a white dude who was actually this fucking good. So, in many ways, a lot of times back in those days, especially when they called black music race music, you know what I mean? Back in those times, there were black people who were incredibly skilled, but they couldn't even be on their own album covers because they needed to sell that shit to white people. And that's another thing we don't talk about a lot of times. A lot of times as black artists, if we don't have somewhat of a strong white following, we're not really gonna eat. That chitlin circuit shit goes oh so far.
I think Lil Wayne said his biggest audience was white. He said all his most
So-
records that he sold to were white. I mean,
Yeah, he said I remember he said he don't see racism and he got hell for it.
That motherfucker live in the gated community. That's why he don't see racism.
Right. I mean,
I'm damn right.
What he sees.
Well,
He ain't seen racism. He ain't seen racism since he seen his grandmama in Louisiana. That's what the real shit is, man.
Yeah, because his baby mother and his daughter even said like he's pretty much a recluse. Like they say he doesn't really go anywhere, doesn't do anything. He's very out of touch. That's what they said. Regina said, my dad's out of touch. He doesn't follow nothing. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't, it shows because he's very tone deaf in some of his interviews. So
Listen, y'all ain't gonna be talking about Eminem when y'all behinds was accepting Mike McDonald, okay? I just realized that y'all was accepting this man. Listen, Eminem is invited to the cookout. I'm putting my foot down on this. Y'all accepted Mike McDonald.
Wait, young man.
Y'all accepted this white man. Look at this. He looks like a meth addict. Y'all accepted this man. You accepted this man. You were going to accept Eminem.
Young man, you need to slow down. We didn't say this, and we didn't say Mike McDonald was up there with Luther Vandross. We didn't say that he was up there with Whitney Houston. We said that wow, that white motherfucker is a bad dude. Just like we said Phil Collins was a bad dude. Just like we said George Michael was a bad dude. We never said George Michael about as bad as Michael Jackson. I don't know who the hell he's fucking not. It's not. You see, there's a difference between saying that and saying Eminem is amongst the top three, MCs of all time.
How is
it different?
Y'all don't play his songs once a month?
Who? Mike McDonald?
Mike McDonald. Exactly.
No,
y'all lying. This is played at every cookout. Or at somebody's old ass stereo system. I'm sorry. Y'all play this every once a month.
True.
Ain't nobody playing no Mike McDonald once a month now. Like I said, the man was incredible. You know what I mean? He has a great catalog of records. Oh, wait a minute. I think I did play his record last month.
I'm not.
No, I think I did play his record last month.
Now that I think about it. His record. Wait, who was that?
I played on my own like a couple of weeks ago.
I think I actually played this man's record like last one, but
I
still stand by my shit. Yeah, I mean, but you know what, Lily, we came from a particular generation where our parents played kind of everything. Right. They played black music, and you know what I mean, you heard stuff on the radio. A lot of the stuff was white stuff. You know what I mean? We got a little bit of everything from everywhere. So it wasn't a situation where all these kids now, all they listen to is rap.
That's so funny because my bestie and I were talking this morning. We was talking about, you remember on Saturdays when you and the whole family would get together and turn the music up and have it blasting and you cleaning, everyone's cleaning together. And we had to listen to what our parents listened to. Right. And, so that's why we were exposed to not only our generation, but we saw where our generation's music came from. Right. So we had a lot more influence of good music, like actual people who really cared about the craft. Back in the day, you can hear the craft, you can hear the love, you can hear in every note, every piece of production, you can hear it. And somehow, like in some way, that split has come. And now, like you said, they only listen to their age group. They don't know anything about our music.
Well,
right. And you know what I really loved about it too is that even then, what they call like their grown folk music, you know, until I became like, I guess, married and grown, I went back and listened to some of my mom's music that she used to play all the time. I'm like, Mama, you let us listen to this. But the thing is, the way that they wrote those lyrics, you had like this man wrote a song saying it was so good, I ate the whole thing.
Right.
We up here singing this song, and we think this man talking about some food. We get
I
older, we like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, I'm not giving no excuses. Y'all let this man, Bobby Caldwell, listen, I remember this song, okay? Y'all let Bobby Caldwell finesse y'all for decades, okay? Y'all gonna accept these white people, all right?
I remember
Y'all
when
accepted every single one.
when they came out with Downtown, and I was still young, and I'm thinking that they're talking about going downtown to go shopping. So I'm all like, you gotta go downtown.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way.
That's what music was
I'm like,
suggestive. That
Go
music was
round and round. You
suggestive.
think about they talking about walking around the stores.
Stores and stuff. Yeah, we was going shopping. So I'm all into it. Like, they like, don't sing that song. I'm like, what do you mean? I want to go downtown.
But it was, but you see, that's the art of it. Like Mary Jane was about marijuana. You know what I mean? And there was an art to it. It was suggestive. It wasn't just flat out just no pizzazz or finesse or class attached to it. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna say one thing right here. I ran a bet with a couple of music industry friends of mine, and I actually won the bet. I asked them to name 10 from 10 love songs, modern love songs from the last 5 years that they could actually play at a wedding. And I won about $300. Nobody could actually beat it.
Wow.
No one can name 10 modern love songs.
Mm-hmm.
Some shit you can play in front of your grandmama. You know what I mean? Not no bullshit. No, I mean an actual dope, you know what I'm saying? I mean, modern love song. 10 of them. And nobody could do it.
Yeah, there's
Just
no
play
love
Adele.
song. There's
Just play Adele.
Babyface. Babyface.
That's
modern.
Modern.
In the last 5 years.
Babyface.
Oh yeah, Babyface.
No, he's not a modern. He's not a modern
he
artist.
Is. No, he is.
He's collaborating with.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're
okay,
right.
so you're gonna play the whole. Okay, you're gonna name 10 Babyface records.
No. He collaborated with the. Now that's funny that we're bringing that up because he collaborated with all of the young, newer female R&B artists of today. Now the funny thing about it that is, I saw people posting about it, so I went and listened to it because I love Babyface. He's one of my favorite producers of all time, favorite songwriters of all time. So I was like, okay, this is genius. The fact that he got with these young girls. Well, I listened to it. Now, let me say, I was shocked because the production was very up to date. Everything was very up to date, even though it was coming from Babyface. But when I tell you, it sounded like one person singing the entire album because all of those girls sound exactly the same. Now, this is the same person.
That whisper shit.
Yes, this is the same. This is the same person on Babyface who did the entire Waiting to Excel album. And every last one of those people, you didn't even have to look at the album to know who was singing what, right? And that is like showing the total just like how the music is just trash now. Just how like they all sound exactly the same. It sounded like one person singing the entire album, and it was a compilation album of all the new R&B girls of today.
Wow. That album was just incredible, man.
He got a song out called "I Keeps on Falling in Love" with Emma.
What?
Emma May. He has a song called "I Keeps on Falling in Love." That's really nice. And another one with I forgot her name. Anyway, thank you for the super chat, Jackson. Fahim Jackson says Black culture also is an experience we want to share with the world because of our relationship with America. Only problem is that it can be manipulated as well.
No, I just think the talent has shifted. The talent has shifted overseas. That's it. Talent runs out.
Independent.
How so? Do you have any examples of people?
What are you telling me?
Some names. Yeah, I'm asking you. Like, how so? Do you have any examples?
Well, I gotta give you a list because I have like the whole. If you look up Colors, that YouTube channel, all the UK singers are on there. Like
Okay.
it's if you just look up that YouTube channel Colors and you'll see it, you're gonna love it. Knowing you'll love the channel.
He's
So
telling the truth. The most talent, if you're looking for R&B, is going to come from overseas now. It's true. Yeah.
You know what? I will contend to that because one of the last artists that I really dug was Amy Winehouse.
Right. And I'm like,
She was the last one that I really, really dug. And when she came out from, because I had a first album that was from the UK. I had it imported. And when I found out she was coming to the States, I was like, oh man, she's gonna tear this shit up. But when she came to the States, she just couldn't get right, man.
And the thing is, if you listen to R&B now, the only person who's allowed to vocally express themselves and belt is a white woman, and that's Adele.
Yes, it's Adele.
No one vocalizes anymore. Like when I'm listening,
Beyonce can't even get away with that shit.
Yeah, nobody vocalize. No one uses their vote. Like even when I listen to people like Summer Walker, it always sounds like the Scissors and the Summer Walker. Like they all sound the same. Like they have like I'm like, girl, push through. Like give me a note. Like just push through, girl. Push through.
Like all our singers became Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson wasn't out there. No, listen before you come for me. Listen. Listen. Let me explain. Listen.
At least he knows.
Okay? Because I saw the look on her face and Jen's face, like, whoa, listen. Calm down for a second. I'm not saying Janet Jackson was a terrible singer, an amazing entertainer, an incredible catalog of records. One of the best catalog of records in music history, not just black music history. But come on, man. She couldn't stand.
Wait, I don't think Janet can sing.
No, she's a whisperer. You know, she's the whisperer.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these girls are in that vein of being a whisperer, like Janet Jackson. Now I had to clarify that because I saw the look on y'all faces. And I thought I was coming for Janet.
Janet is a national treasure, but she can't sing.
Yeah.
That's what I felt about Aaliyah. Aaliyah was a whisper singer.
Right. Well, see, that's why I call Janet the leader of she's the queen of the whisper singers. Because you had Janet, then you had Aaliyah, then you had Sierra, then you had, you know what I'm saying? And it just went on down till you got to the Scissors and the Summer Walkers and the Ella Mays and just they all do, you know, the only one that the only two that I would say has a unique tone and sound is Jasmine Sullivan and the girl who sings Pressure. I always get all the Aries and the Aries and the Lennoxes and I can't. They all just say Ari, I don't know. Lennox, Ari, I don't know. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know Jen isn't really into the yellers.
I hate them.
The belting. Yeah, I like belting. I need a belt every now. I need vocals. I need Coco. I need I need Coco from SWV. I need Patty.
Right.
I need Shaka. Like, scream at me. Tell me what the fuck I'm supposed to be in love about.
Everybody that you just said, I liked. I will not listen to Fantasia.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get mad, but I don't like Aretha Franklin's voice. I know y'all gonna get mad.
Aretha kind of works me too. That is my unpopular opinion. I've never said it out loud, but that's my unpopular
I don't Fantasia. I will not listen to an album. You will not yell at me.
I don't like the timbre of her voice. I never did.
I don't even like Beyonce's voice. I don't like Beyonce's voice. The what do you call that?
That hard growl that she does.
When it sounds like that growl, and when it sounds like you're sitting on a washing machine.
Yeah, that hard growl drives me nuts.
I don't like those type of voices. I don't even like Jennifer Hudson, kind of, sort of.
Oh, Jennifer Hudson makes me want to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge.
Like when she starts that, I gotta blow the roof off.
No. Alicia Keys has the voice that makes me really want to fight, like literally want to scratch, like take everything out of my ears, and like that voice right there. Anyone who knows me knows that. Do not play Alicia Keys around me. I will fight you. Like it's something that makes me violent. She's not a singer. She's a writer. She's a very talented writer. She can actually arrange other people's vocals and stuff. Because I've seen what she's done on other people's records. Like, you know, all of that. She's talented. the two people actually I feel like that with is her and John Legend. They drive me crazy. Sorry, that's just my shit.
I think Alicia Keys is like Ciara, where it's like Ciara was supposed to stay a background dancer and Alicia Keys was supposed to stay a writer and a pianist. Like, we didn't need you out front.
Really? Because Ciara makes me a lesbian.
Really?
Yeah.
She looks like a dancing praying mantis. I can't stand it.
She can dance. She can dance her ass
Everything to
off.
me.
I didn't say she can dance. She looks like a dancing praying mantis. When she does that with her legs, I hate it.
I gotta look that up. Like the praying mantis dance.
She be making me
tall and slim. So whenever she cocks her legs open and starts her.
I'm just picturing it. I'm just picturing that shit in my head right now.
I'm
when she does that shit.
The picture of praying mantis.
Yo, I like it's funny and disrespectful all at once. I'm like, she's right. Like Jen's right, but I'm like, yo, that's Ciara. She can dance though.
Right.
Like, but Jen's
Now,
right at the same time.
every time I see Ciara do that shit, I'm gonna just start busting out fucking
He looks
laughing.
like
Man, I'm telling you.
a praying mantis with a wig on. All right.
Do you have a specific video where she might have done that in? I want to check it out.
Now I'm about to start looking at these videos.
Now that's a signature. That's a signature move.
I know y'all like
That's a signature move, man.
Exactly.
That's like Michael Jackson spin. That's like that's her shit. Yeah, that's her shit.
Yo.
That is her shit. That's her shit.
Every video. Even when
Hey.
slow jam. Even when it's slow jam.
Jen, you can make a killing on doing a short. Just say Ciara be like, and then just do it.
Right.
Oh.
Seriously.
I swear I'm dressed on all green. All
I'll check
right.
this out.
And I'll just do it's a praying every fucking even the slow songs.
And you should have like a split with a praying mantis on a split screen.
No, I don't want to
have the upper part be her body, but then have the bottom part be praying mantis legs. Like,
right.
Or like, don't listen, yo. Whenever I like mistakenly scroll by her shit, I'm like, ugh.
That is so funny.
Okay, Haran, I'll put that channel in the back chat for you.
Thank you so much, brother.
I'm like,
And
no.
subscribe to it.
I said,
hate it.
Subscribe to it right now. Are we closing?
Yeah, we're closing, man. We're out of here. We were supposed to do 2 hours because yesterday was a rough night for everybody. We did
That
it.
was fun.
My goodness.
This was fun.
I have a
this
question
was
to the New Yorkers because I
Question.
heard somebody on another I heard somebody on another show, and they're from New York. I think they're from Brooklyn, or I want to say maybe they're from the Bronx, but they said they were from the Boogie Down, and I'm just curious what that comes from because I remember Boogie Down production. So, what does that relate like to? Is it the Bronx or is it Brooklyn?
It's the Bronx.
The birthplace of hip hop.
Yeah.
So
I
it's just
remember. Yes,
that-
Boogie Down
that-
Bronx. Yeah.
yeah, it just got a nickname.
Yeah, that's just it. Like Killer Queens. You know what I mean? You know, Crooklyn.
Right.
Man,
do you know the degeneracy in the nicknames? I'm just saying.
Well, Boogie Down is not degenerate. You're just shaking your ass.
I remember at my old job, man. You know what I mean? It was this I was like, of course, no, wait a minute, excuse me. I was working remote at the time. Yeah. So I'm working remote, and you had another New Yorker there on the panel during the Zoom meeting. And he was like, yeah, you know what I mean? You're a fellow in New York. I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, what spot you from? We was just talking. I was like, yeah, what spot you from? From the Bronx, whatever. He was like, no, I'm from Albany. I was like,
oh.
You're from
other New York.
Albany, I'm always like, oh, okay.
I always say the other New York.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, it's
you're like, oh, you're educated. Oh,
like, look, man, like, I remember one time before I saw their uniforms, I saw their cop uniforms. I was like, no self-respecting police officer would kill an unarmed black man dressed like that. That's disgusting. This is a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
And
Oh,
the
God.
cancel begins in
I
3,
know, right?
2.
And I love
That's a
inappropriate
joke.
jokes. That's what's so bad.
That's a joke.
The cancel culture is in full effect.
Hey, let them come for me, man. Like I said, I can close my door.
So it says here, because now I'm curious too about my Bronx.
What happened?
Somebody answered the idea that during the 1970s and 1980s, slang for New York City neighborhoods became popular in some working class communities. Money making Manhattan, do or die Bed-Stuy, boogie down Bronx. Some terms spread by popular culture, including rap music and radio DJ patter. I wonder who was the first person I said boogie down Bronx.
You never heard you never heard Boogie Down Bronx?
Who?
You never heard that, Jim? KRS One was saying that shit, man.
Of course, I mean Boogie Down Productions has never been a song and make it better.
Bronx, keep on
Oh,
making it.
Jesus
Brooklyn, keep on
Christ,
taking
man.
it.
Come on, man.
Oh
Master.
my God, her PTSD is kicking in. Her PTSD is kicking in.
Criminal mind, you've been blinded. Look
I
at us.
told you her PTSD is kicking in. Log out. She's gone.
The bridge is
She is
over. The
gone.
bridge is over.
It's after 2 hours. We not.
Bronx,
We
keep
looking
on
old
making
now.
it. Brooklyn, keep on taking it.
Okay, don't get us started, all right? Of course, I mean, I had the cassette tape. It was white with black letters on it.
I had a cassette tape. It had the Ninja Turtles on it. Yeah.
What?
Okay.
I keep forgetting you're like 12.
Oh, wait, Modern Renaissance Man said good night, everybody.
Good night, man. Brother.
Good night, man.
Good night.
All right, I'm gonna see how well. How well do you know white people? Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I'm gonna throw out. It wasn't the Sugar Hill Gang because although my sister had that record, I was born in. So I was in the '80s. So I was born in 1970. What do you think the first rap album I bought was?
You were born when?
I was born in
NWA.
1970.
He was born in
NWA.
Wait, no. And let me tell you, and so you gotta, and I was born, so I lived in Louisiana, so you know, just to give you an idea. So,
oh, okay. Change my answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm letting you know because you know how things
No,
start.
I had a different answer before.
Things start at the East Coast or the West Coast and move over.
Did you buy a single or album?
No, it was cassette. It was a cassette tape.
It was an album or a single though?
Oh, the whole album.
Whole album. And you was in Louisiana?
Yeah, don't let that throw you. Don't let Louisiana throw you. I'm just saying, like in New York and California, things start and then they move across the country, right? So I'm just trying to give you like a time frame of what would have been big. What was the biggest?
Okay, I got two.
Man, you bought the album
Dog,
when?
the other's Vanilla Ice.
When did you buy the album?
When? You want to know what year?
Yeah.
Oh, that might give it away, but that would probably give it away. 1980, probably 1986, 1985, 86.
Then I can go back to my original answer. LL Cool J.
I'll let everybody answer. Just.
I got it.
1986.
Yeah.
Rakim.
See, this was the cassette tape I had. See, it's still around.
Larry B and Rakim.
That wasn't the first.
Okay.
It might be harder than I thought. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Was it Curtis Blow?
No. You got to think of someone.
I got one. Dougie Fresh.
Listen. This would be something that would cross over.
Run DMC.
Yes.
Yes.
Run DMC.
That was
yes.
so easy. I didn't go with it. Damn. Why didn't I go with it?
Right. By that
Absolutely.
By the time that running them became big, then of course.
Because Aerosmith jumped on the track and it was over.
Right.
Yeah.
This way. It's all this way.
Yo, what are we doing?
So essentially, wait a minute. So you're agreeing that you, by way of Run DMC working with Aerosmith, your white ears were turned on to Run DMC?
Well, I think that I want to say that was the first video that would go on MTV. I think of.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So,
That's
you
what.
got that exposure, you know what I
Right.
mean? But I do
But you know,
remember a lot of the other ones, a lot of the other, Doug, I remember hearing I never bought Dougie Fresh, like the album, anything,
brother,
but
nobody bought Dougie Fresh.
But why is he
Wait,
so
wait, wait.
famous? But why is he so famous?
I'm
It's an
saying I
amazing
remember
performer.
other
He's an
things,
amazing
that was the
performer.
first one I bought, and then there were others after, but yeah.
Man, nobody bought Dougie Fresh. Don't worry about it.
He looks good. Dougie Fresh looks so good.
He looks really
Yeah.
good.
My
I
God.
mean, he took care of.
I have a Dougie Fresh story, but I'll tell that later.
Uh-oh.
Make sure I'm not around. For some strange reason, I don't want to hear any of your stories. I don't want to hear
I'm not gonna lie. I figured it'd be the guy with the ED.
I have
Been Dougie Fresh.
I have a Curtis Blow story
I
that
think
will
Don Levine hit
blow
it
your
too
mind.
on his chat.
Yeah, Jen, your
We have to
stories
do
too.
that in the next Zoom meeting.
Jen, your stories too come a close second to be like, I really didn't need to know that.
It would blow your mind.
Let's
You would
just
be
say
like,
it did.
what?
Let's just say it did, and don't tell me. Thanks.
Okay, so when y'all want to know at the next Zoom meeting, because it is a story that will blow your mind.
Yeah, I'll only tell mine at the Zoom meeting. I won't tell mine.
Well, does this have to do with any type of sex dungeon at all?
No, it has to do. I'll give you some clues. It has to do with glass bottles, hot sauce, blood.
Okay. And the way she paused, her ass was there.
I was
yeah,
there.
you lost me. You lost me at the hot sauce.
Okay, it'll blow your mind if I tell you something like,
Yeah, how high was he getting? His name was really Blow, huh? That sounds like something people do to get high.
I didn't know him then. I knew him like years after. I didn't know him when he was in his prime and he was doing the cocaine with Wendy Williams.
Tristan, everybody was fucking high back then.
Man,
I mean,
y'all some former junkies, huh?
Glass
yeah,
bottles, hot sauce, blood.
Listen, Tristan, there's a reason why our age group tells you motherfuckers don't go down a particular road. Because we went down that particular road, you just don't have any evidence of it. There were no cameras.
Right.
Right.
Right. Thank God there was no cameras.
All y'all need to be locked up. I keep telling y'all, at least be locked up for 7 years and come back rehabilitated. Listen, because y'all still running amok. Y'all do it on YouTube now.
Oh, wait. I got to add some shit. Hot sauce, glass bottles, orders of protection.
You?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I don't really need to know this story.
She said orders of protection like the piece of paper?
This shit sound like some shit. This shit sound like some shit MacGyver, like, puts together in a box and comes out with a tank or some shit like that. Like this shit sound like some other shit about to happen. I'm good.
Listen, I have to tell. I don't know if I'm gonna do. Just remind me.
She said an order of protection.
Right. A whole order of protection. I'm telling you.
From you?
Involving Curtis Blow.
See, I like how she's trying to avoid all culpability. For some reason, that order of protection was for Jen because he probably owed her some money. I guarantee you put a gun to his head. There's a gun involved in this story.
No.
I didn't hear a gun.
No, there wasn't no guns. Wrong guy. No.
I mean, you got a bottle and hot sauce. Why would you need a gun?
Right. A little bit of that'll get in your eyes. That's over. It's a wrap.
Lily, you right in the ballpark, Lily. You right in the ballpark.
See, and on that note, Tristan, take us out. On that note, Tristan, take us the fuck out.
It's time to go. I got homework. I love you all. Class dismissed, you heathens.
We out.
Good night, everybody.
Guys. Oh my goodness. Good times, good times. If you're still here, hit that like and subscribe for me. Don't forget to check out yesterday's show. It was off the chisel. You're going to love it. It was fireworks from beginning to end. I appreciate your support and your love. Thank you for holding me down in the chat. My top 5 favorite artists. Oh, I don't have time to tell you. I don't have time to tell you right now. I don't have time to tell you. Bad Bunny, Babyface, I've seen like 6 or 7 times in concert. I would have to think about it. I don't have time. I'm spent. All right, guys. So I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Make sure you always check out my community tab on my page, on my YouTube channel, because that's where I put the upcoming shows. Okay. I usually think about them on the fly the same day. So check in with my community tab and see what I'm going to talk about next with my amazing panel. Hit that like and subscribe. Don't forget, if you want to support the show after I log off, hit my Cash App on the block with Jen. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed. Good night, guys.